Actually, yeah, he'll be here soon.
All right, so welcome back to M&A&D&D episode 66. Uh Waterdeep awaits. M&A is back home under dire circumstances as they had contacted Shyvanis and heard the terrible news that Red, um, their once previous companion, had been the victim of an attack by some heinous creatures, fiends, if you will, that seem to be, I would say, stalking you all. At least this is the second encounter. These encounters have not gone favorably for you all. Uh, as the first time you guys were all left unconscious, this time, um, nearly killed, but your lives were saved when DW agreed to give up a priceless family heirloom that they seem to want back. Priceless to you, I guess. Um, their intentions for that is still unknown. After the fight that you barely survived, you hurriedly rushed from the site to come across kind of a remarkable sight as the city of Phandalin was marching to your aid. Um, a little bit fed up with being like living in fear of what happened to Red, and to pay honor to him, I guess, maybe in some ways. Uh, they march back into town, feeling free to go back to their homes. You all go back into your keep to get some rest. No, I think we got another thing going. It'll all circle back around, but um, we'll end up in the same place essentially. So we find ourselves inside of uh your home, the keep up on the hill that is kind of the center now of Fenelon. Is you guys, it seemed to, as it expanded, built itself around you all, um in this like sense that M&A can keep them safe. And maybe it was subconscious that happened, but it certainly has paid in due with this particular attack, that the town and the townspeople were able to find shelter in your keep. Um, Valen, this is every bit your home, as you spent so much time here. DW had kind of ducked out for a while to do his own dirty work in that time in between acquiring Wave Echo Cave and the current adventure that you're on, in which was investigating those cultists. Um, you guys start to bed for the night. Uh, some of the familiar hands around that help out Shavanis in the day to day here
Mm,
have provided you all with um, sheets and beddings. Uh, you, of course, Valen, had your own room waiting for you.
on the second floor, I remember.
Mm-hmm. There's still some scratches next to like the window pane from your from your leap to save the town from a dragon. Uh, those of you that need your rest, uh, lay into bed as the night grows darker, and there's a bit of calm that kind of goes over everybody.
Please don't tell me this has come before another storm coming.
So at this point, if we're taking our long rest, I'd like to take my 4 hours of resting / meditation that I need as an elf during this time. And once I'm able to complete those 4 hours, I'm going to quietly head up to the roof of the keep.
As you make your way out from one of the rooms, you all provided one thing that had happened is the room that our chamber that had previously early on been occupied by the red seems to have been avoided this evening. The hallways and the stairwells and your climb up to the top of the keep remain mostly quiet. It was a long, stressful day for everybody, and you found your pathway virtually unobstructed. You find yourself like climbing out of the, raising up the trapdoor to the top, and you get that crisp air coming in. Just quiet.
I'll take a second to look out over the town.
It's starting to sprawl, and you see like distant twinkling lights of maybe candles or fireplaces in some of the windows, but for such still in the early ages of Phandalin in this expansion and growth, it's still relatively calm and quiet on this evening.
I'll take the broom out of my quiver and I'll get on it, and I'm gonna fly off in the direction of the temple. And my plan is to stay just above the tree line, to relatively stealthily, but the broom has a flying speed of 50 feet, which is, I think, equivalent to a horse's speed. So I would theoretically move in a straight line as fast as a horse, unencumbered by any amount of hazardous terrain. So I could theoretically make this trip very quickly. And then when I get to the temple, I'm going to survey the area before I do anything else.
You roll over these treetops. As the time goes by, they progressively get thicker and thicker. You're familiar with the vegetation here, and after some time, you get to that little bit of clearing where this ancient temple had existed, and you start to see some of the remains of the temple, some of the skeleton of it, walls that have been covered and destroyed by time, and the moonlight starts to kind of peek over the trees, and as you circle around, you could do a perception check.
So my current plan is, as I get over the area and I'm starting to survey, before I set down, I need to make sure that the area is clear. To do so and to help with this, I'm going to invoke the power of the Black Dragon Mask and give myself blind sight for 30 feet for the next 5 minutes as I make my way around to make sure there's no invisible creatures, invisible traps, anything of the sort as I fly around, just to make sure that the area is safe for me to land. And then I'll make my perception check. But I just wanted to explain that just to make sure.
No, appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so as you circle around, you you take point and notice the different corners of these walls and stuff. Previously, two of two of your attackers had hid in some of these corners, so you do take quite a bit of concern and look extra focus to make sure that those areas are clear of any dangers. As you circle lower, you see that same giant spider you had slain, um, still in the center of this open area.
Did it not
There
revert
are
to its normal form?
uh no, it stayed in this form.
Okay. I didn't know which one it was.
As you circle lower, you do see some of the shining webbing that had been used as like tripwires,
Hmm.
but those seem to be the same ones you guys had seen previously. Nothing new. The area seems largely empty. Um, kind of chillingly quiet and just a little bit uneasy with this like kind of monstrous beast that's just slain there sitting in the middle.
Um, if the area looks clear to me, I will land and again pull out, uh, the wand of magic detection and use that while I search the body of this slain enemy. Just to make sure, because I felt like I didn't. I'm looking for any notes, any orders, anything that this thing had. My current idea is that whatever it is, whatever items it has, whatever like normal items, magic items, I don't care. This thing is dead, and the dead have no need for material possessions or material items. And I want to make sure I also have any information on what its like any orders it had or any notes or information it had on its body.
You go to this giant arachnid slain in the middle of this area. On closer inspection, it's alarming to see that there are parts of this that seem to have attempted. You had when you had slain it, it had before you had slain it, it had originally been humanoid, and it seems that maybe in its death throes or in its last breaths, it tried to convert back to a drow. So there are parts of this spider that are shrunken, this shriveled, kind of collapsed inside of it, and you see the slightest bits of humanoid features
Oof.
in it as it had tried to change out of its shape. There's one thing in particular you see. You recognize some of it. And it's very reminiscent of an item you have carried for some time. It is sitting on your hip, but then in front of you, it's strewn into pieces. You recognize that it had been carrying a bag of holding at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And when it was slashed and slain, it seems to have cut open the bag. And it's what had been inside is underneath this monstrous beast. You look for other piece. you see part of its body has very distinct features in it, almost like a belt loop or pieces of clothing. And you get the sense that the transformation from drow to giant spider, that whatever it had been holding, whatever it had been carrying, just kind of conformed to this monstrous frame.
Mhm.
But it's just now so decayed, as it seems like that it seems to have started to decay much faster out here in the open.
Um, and there's nothing salvageable from this, or if there is, I'll spend some time trying to work on that. But like, so yeah, I'm looking for, if there's no items, if there's no information to be gathered from it.
I would say you need to do a bit of an investigation check.
Okay.
Your perception definitely told you that you're alone. Your immediate interest comes from the parts of this bag of holding that had been cut open.
Mhm.
What you understand is when they're sliced, they lose all of their contents, but the contents, if there is any, might be underneath this thing.
Okay. I will. I'll spend some time trying to dig out underneath it. I will not be able to move the carcass of a giant spider, I don't think. What?
Keep going.
But I'll spend some time to try and dig out. What I'll do is I'll dig out somewhat of a pit on the opposite side, and then I'll try and push the body into that to try and roll it off of whatever it's on.
Okay.
So like dig out like part way under the body, just like dig out a little bit of this, and then push it in over that to try and help move it.
Let's get let's just roll a d20 for this.
I'll do it in. I'm sure that'll be easier.
So after some time of working this, and I would say this takes you like maybe 15 minutes.
Okay.
You're able to start to budge this thing because it started to deteriorate and shape. It's not as massive as it had been. That this would be like an impossible task for you. You managed to roll this thing back, and underneath it, you just see piles of loot. Unfortunately, you don't see anything, any kind of instruments. You don't see any kind of weapons or anything.
That's
you
fine.
just see like a mound of gold, silver, some very shiny. It looks like maybe platinum.
Okay.
This the mass of it seems a bit like this is part of your original takings from the Dragon Horde when you're on the Sky Castle.
Mm.
There's one item out of place here. And as you reach down and kind of like brush aside these pieces of coins, is a small circular bone.
I'll pick that up. I'll spend the time to collect the coin into the bag of holding, and then I'll pick up the circular bone and I'll put that in my pocket. I'll inspect it a little, but I'm not going to spend too much time on it.
You want to do an investigation check on it?
Sure. Seems about right.
You see an etching in it, like something's written inside of, like, along the inner circle.
Okay.
Circle. Mm-hmm. But you're unable to make it out.
Yeah, so I'll pocket that for now. And again, no extra, like there's nothing of any kind of orders that were given, pieces of paper, pieces of scrap, nothing I can find for information. I just want to make sure that currently my character is attempting to figure out what part of their plan is, if there's any information that he can find here. He's not, like, the loot is nice, but I really have been trying to figure out what's been going on and why these people have been hounding us. So I want to make sure I'm not missing anything that could potentially give us any additional information on that. If there's nothing there, totally cool. I just want to make sure that
With that roll,
my character does his due diligence.
That is what you see.
Cool. At this point, it's been probably close to like half an hour to an hour of me just spending time here, not including the trip over, but just, rummaging through all of this. I will, at this point, I'm going to gather some kindling and some firewood, throw it into the pit with the spider's husk, grab a torch, light it, and burn the carcass, and say, you and yours have spent time chasing us, attacking innocents, and you gave no mercy and no honor to the slaying of my friend. But I will at least give you the decency of a burial by fire. And I'll take a quick look around, and if there's nothing around, I will get back on my broom and head back to the keep.
As the fire starts to crackle and burn through the corpse, there's just like a little bit of twitching in some of the legs, and the popping and creates this high-pitched squealing, and it almost echoes into the trees as if millions of tiny spiders reach out from beyond as you take off into the air.
Yeah.
Being same, Terry. And then being a ranger, just to make sure it's stated well enough, I would have set this up so that I do not set the forest on fire. Just making sure.
It's a pretty wet forest here. So
Sure. I just wanted to speak it into existence just in case.
Gotcha. And you collapse the Phandalin economy because you burnt out their forest.
Cool.
It will come
I'm
back
a great
to haunt you.
ranger.
Yeah,
Perfect. No,
you're
no animal companions. Fuck the woods. Where's the Lorax? I'm going after him next. All right. But yeah, at that point, I'd spend time getting back and hopefully get back around the same time or before the end of the total 8 hours it would be for a full night's rest.
Hey, you know what was really cool is I was looking at the right map that entire time, so I was really into it. And I just now noticed you guys were stuck on the Fendelin map the whole time.
Oh,
My bad. I was.
Well, the
Yeah.
majority of the team are staying in the Fendelin, staying back in
Yeah.
the Fendelin. So
Um,
that's the thing.
so over the next bit of time, I think couple hours now. Okay, so let's get back to what you're up to. Where are you at inside of the keep? Okay. Yes, you do. Yeah, I think you had left a message or something, or detected something in your room the last time you were here to make sure you weren't getting spied on. I think you darted to your room. So yeah, I just wanted. Sorry, that was completely sidetracked. I'm just saying, I didn't know if you're like outside meditating, up on the roof, in your room, on the bed, on the floor. Right. you as you're in your room, you kind of went from meditating to reading to this almost another meditative stance in which you light these incense and you're reading through your book and you're doing the incantation. You're uneasy, or I would say more like a fawn on new legs. You feel as you try to channel this new ability through yourself, and you're reaching out into the world for this part of you says like a spirit guide or spirit animal. You have the sense of some things that that maybe even in some of your darker times when you were alone and had left your family behind in order to keep them safe, you had looked for companionship, you had thought about what loyalty meant, you thought about a little bit of what innocence was lost um because of the path you took at such a age. And all these thoughts combined, you start to like picture in your mind's eye this companion. But again, you're just a little bit awkward, a little bit uneasy, a little bit uncomfortable with how this is like this is a new spell for you. This is putting your faith into something that's immaterial. And so you see it in your head. And you see it but it just disappears. And then you focus harder. And when you start to gain the shape and you think to yourself like of this loyalty, of this innocence, of this companionship, you start to get a shape of an animal, and then it's gone again, and just like this bright flash of light in your eyes, and you think harder, and there it is, and it starts to form, and then gone again, and you get frustrated, and you come back out of it, and you're sitting in your room after about an hour or so of doing this, and you're wondering, are you putting your faith into something that's not going to happen? And then you hear something off under your behind your bed. And then you hear like crackle. And then right in front of you, you see a tiny puppy with his tongue hanging out of its mouth. And immediately he just jumps into your lap and starts just like kind of like climbing all over you. And as you go to grab him, he pops into another corner of you, and he's just is kind of like wrestling all over you. And as you try to hold him and maybe get a good grip of him, he disappears into somewhere else, and he just starts pouncing all over the room. After a few minutes, it seems to calm down, and it starts to come out from underneath the bed, tail wagging, tongue still out, big floppy ears, and he walks towards you. He just looks at you and does this, and in your head kind of echoes a name. The second you say Anshu, he just starts bounding. Starts, yep, and it starts just zipping all over the room, and you hear that crackling as it disappears into other parts. He's to your right, he's to your left, he's on the bed. And he just comes running up to you, dives into
Aw.
your lap. Can I get animal handling? Ooh, okay.
Hey, Alex, you might be muted to the stream.
Oh no.
No.
I think everyone else is good, but David said that he
Um,
can't hear you.
in the course of this, like getting to know your new familiar, he takes a shining to your cape.
All right, we should be good now. Sorry about that.
In his weaker moments, it seems that Onchu really likes to grab on your cape and then tug and play a game of the tug of war with him.
Oh, not the cape. We gotta find a different. We gotta find something else to chew on. Oh God, I have to have something in my equipment that you could um here. I just stick my hand out and just like, do you want to chew on something? Just work on my fingers for right now until we find something else. And I use my metal hand and just let him just gnaw on that.
Okay, nice.
Speaking from experience, that has to be his #1 favorite toy.
Okay, works for me. So
I have to get like something for him to play with at some point to keep him occupied.
So DW and Anshu spend the remainder of the night getting to know each other. All right. Does anybody else have anything else to do tonight, or are we gonna break for the morning?
Not for tonight, but something I would like to. Valen would like to probably troll around the city in the morning, troll around the town.
Okay. Okay, so as dawn finally begins to break, some of the you could hear Shyvanis and some of her help down in the kitchens preparing breakfast for everybody. You start to hear a little bit of the town come alive, which is great news because as you had flown in previously, you guys weren't hearing much of anything. The town seemed empty and desolate. Certainly life has come back. Those of you wanting to wake up, start your day, we'll go ahead and
Okay, so Valen's gonna wake up in the morning, like right before breakfast. That he's always like to visit the town right before when the market opens because that's when all the traders and the business guys and like the all the farmers that they're hauling their goods and like stuff, and then usually the street would be the most busiest in the morning when people are prepping, and he loves the smell in the morning where like the animals, well, like the farm animals are basically just the farmers are getting the milk and cheese and everything, and the smell is just wonderful, intoxicating to him. So he went out and basically kind of broke away from the mansion, and then just didn't bring anything with on him, and then he just started strolling across the streets, and then I mean the town seems fine. I mean it definitely shows a different kind of energy, but compared with what they were before the group have set off before right after the dragon's attack, that the town still seems a little bit iffy, kind of, because like something there's something in the air that kind of just holding down the entire town folks, and then so Although Valen understood that they just got handed was a huge defeat, like just a day before. And then he understand that people are still worried and still nervous. But he want to change this. So basically he wanted to make sure that the townsfolk knows that there's still people out there fighting for this place, and that Fendelin needs to be needs to be the needs to find itself back and replenish that energy that makes this place that was once magical. So basically, he's just in his mind. He came up and he's trying to find the most optimistic and the most cheerful cheerful song that he can find. And then as he approached this town plaza, then he start open up his vocal and then start singing.
You find
Daijoufu. Oh, sorry, my bad.
I was gonna say you
No,
find
no,
a
go ahead.
platform
Yep.
towards the town square, and as the merchants start their day and bring their supplies in, and the town folks, those that are hardworking, bring their supplies in, they stop and they look up at you as you begin to play your instruments.
Okay. And so look around, that people would start. They're kind of wanderers, and then see. They obviously know me, but they don't know why am I doing here, because they don't. I mean, ever since we've been gone, there hasn't been much performance around the town. So as Valen opened up his vocal, so the sound start coming out. 大地を踏みしめて、君は目覚めてゆく。天使の微笑みて、ずれ出して。孤独でも一人じゃないさ。生まれてきたことに必ず意味がある。優しさに満ち溢れてる。この街にありがとう。You can smile again. 太陽浴びて You can fly away. 世界は君の輝きを待ってる。大空駆け抜けて海原越えて行け。天使の嘆きキス捕まえて。まだ誰にも見たことない世界へ飛び出そう明日。大地を踏みしめて君は目覚めてゆく。天使の微笑みてずれ出して終わらない冒険にかけてよ。いつまでもどこまでも。Alec, David, you will be right. David, you will be right.
Which one is it? It's like it's on the tip of my tongue, but I don't remember. Like,
it's a departure from Hunter x Hunter.
Oh, it's from Hunter x Hunter. Okay,
That's why I was like,
gotcha. Sorry, all right, continue.
As you finish up singing, the square had completely come to a halt. For as you look down on them, you see these smiles on their faces, and their spirits pick up. A lot of them are clapping and cheering you on, and you see some of the children of the Fandolin start running around, playing sword fights with sticks. Even if it's only briefly, it seems as though they have kind of put aside the tragedy of the day before, and some of the hardships they had faced, and the spirit of Phandalin and its growth and its continued prosperity, I think, kind of seeps back into their consciousness, and the town folks march on to a much more upbeat song this time. You've done them a great service.
Did you want something?
So as the people start getting around me, and then around Valen, and basically start clapping and sing along with the music, and I basically after a few rounds of singing and people dancing around the plaza, I start winding down and look at the folks saying that thank you for all of your welcome just now. And I know I know the time has been harsh, but Phandalin has always been a magical place for a lot of us. I mean, it's not just about we're sitting on top of a mountains of treasures and wonders, magical items, but on top of that, we have produce that we can be proud of ourselves. We have people are just really wonderful and great at what we do, and this town has the energy that no other town across the Sword Coast can compete. I mean, smell the market. We have the best of the honeys, best of the cheese, best of the produce, and look at the crops that people are bringing in. This town still has its energy, and we know what had happened in the last couple of weeks and even close to months is being unexpected, and then some are even more frightening events, but we are resilient. Phandalin is resilient, and if we work together, and I promise you all that me and my companions will do our utmost best to take down whomever was responsible for the attack on us. And so live on with your lives and keep making this town as great as it once was.
Woo! Woo! It seems as though the people of Phandalin agree. Towards the center of town, we're back into the keep, Tresendor Manor, where we see the newest member of M&A, Astrid.
Eating a charcuterie board.
Yep. No, I'll wander in. Not late, but I'll wander in a little bit on the later side. And Skull is back. Just hanging out. And I'll just is there food already on the table? I guess
Very, very likely.
Okay. I will take some semblance of food. I guess just like something portable. And you're down there, right?
Yeah, I would have come back by now.
Okay. I'll make eye contact with Val and just kind of nod for him to follow me.
Around this time, I would have like opened the door. It's like, all right, now stay. trying to walk out
Look at all the new
the door.
You just hear this
Anchu's
crackle.
gonna book it and blinking down the hall.
You just hear this crackle. And you just see him down the hall, in a room, down the hall, up the stairs, down the stairs.
Anchu, no, don't go, no, not off that, no, Anchu, back here.
There's a
Anchu.
point where all of a sudden there's absolutely no crackling, and you just hear this guttural growl as Anchu has come face to face
With the dire wolf.
with Shyvanis.
No.
With Skull.
with Skull, this giant hulking beast standing in front of him, half blended into the shadows of the corners, and they're just staring at each snout to snout.
Anchu. Down. No, sir.
You need to give him treat, man.
All right, I'll take an action and I'll snap Anchu out of existence for a second, so I can like remove. him into a
Obedience is established upon treats. So
Sorry. So everybody, that was Anchu.
I'm sorry. I just saw a puff of smoke and fur and slobber. What was
That would be apparently a blink puppy. They're a native of the Feywild. And
Oh, I'm very well aware of what they are. How did you find one?
I didn't. I summoned one. So the spell book that I got, the previous owner left a few things in it, and one of the things was a familiar spell. So early this morning, I summoned a familiar, and voila, Anchu. He's a little young, so this is new for all of us. And ta-da!
Man, next thing you know, Valen,
He's
Valen,
really
do you
good
have any?
at jump.
no, Valen's not there. I'm still in the town center, and
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, I'm
I
sampling
swear, if
people's
Valen comes back
produce.
from getting produce with a pet
A parrot.
or some shit, and I am the only one without any kind of animal
As the ranger?
as a ranger, I am going to.
You know the druid's gonna come back
mad.
from with like 6 different pets too at his rate.
God, don't get me started on Ulan. He was the most irresponsible pet owner of all.
Well, we can't help that either. But
He's also the youngest one in the group by far, by
which
being
means that all he
25.
wants is which means he wants a all he wants is a pet.
Well, now he has yours whenever he comes back. So
Ulan
thanks for
is the
looking
blink,
out.
Ulan is the blink
Ulan's
puppy
our
of
blink
M&A.
puppy.
I thought
He
I
literally
thought we
was,
were just
he would
counting. I
bump
just
into
thought we were
places, get in
counting
trouble, and then we'd have to
Dark
clean
as
up
the
his mess.
pet, and Ulan is the owner, and then Ulan left us with the pet. So, anyway,
Okay.
Well,
Astrid.
All I say is I'm not responsible for Skull's action.
well, I can bring Anshu here with us when we need him, when we want him, and I'm gonna keep working with him. And if I understand things correctly from what we were able to work with, it looks like we can. He has a really good sense of smell. I can. We have a telepathic bond, which lets me perceive the world through him. He is actually not locked into this form. I can actually, because he's fey in nature, I can change his form with the spell. But it will just take some time, and I can also cast spells from him, or just use him naturally in combat. But I'm not really sure how interestingly or how how effective he'll always be in combat. But you know, he's a feisty one, so we'll see.
May our foes be ever terrified of the slobber in the night.
Yeah.
What is Skull's take on all this information?
Skull seems unimpressed, and it's still not going to stop him from nipping at it if it gets too close.
Skull kind of just like turns his hind to DW and where Skull had, or where Anju had previously been, and then almost does like that, like burying a bone movement as it walks out the door with Astrid and Val.
We'll be back.
Astrid,
You guys-
before you go, can I have a quick conversation with
Yep.
Astrid? I would want to do more of this in general, but when we were fighting those assailants last, I had hoped that there was only a one-time occurrence, but you seemed. Well, now we know that's not true. You seem to have some kind of idea of what they were. Do you? I think we need to do more research on them. I don't, and Val, obviously, this goes for you as well. I don't think we can stay on the defensive or just plan to avoid them forever. I think if we either get touched with Luskin again and ask for resources on them, we'll need to know exactly what to ask for, which is why, Astrid, I'm asking you this in particular, because they're not things of the order that we're familiar with, that I know of, but I want us to be prepared next time, and I want us to be able to go on the offensive if needed, much more so than this time.
I haven't had interactions with people like them before, if you can call them people. Out of everything. Because I've done reading because of other stuff, Viva, but how much would Astrid know? That's really, because Emily knows a lot because she's done some reading. You know why I've been reading and stuff, but
Is that
would
humble bragging up
Astrid
here?
know? No, it's just that I don't want to.
She doesn't want to meta
I don't
how
want
much
meta.
information she has.
Right.
Yeah.
I know, I'm just
last
joking. I'm
time-
just joking.
No, you're good.
Last time you asked Viva, do you recognize them, as in them as in the I interpreted that as them as the monsters, and just them as a fiendish type. And if we can at least narrow it down to fiendish types, we would start with there and move on.
I would, because of your backstory, you're fairly familiar with one of the three.
Okay.
You can share as much as you think is valuable, because you roll a history check with advantage. Let's do that.
Okay. I can do that.
Yeah.
I have an additional question that I'll whisper you in a second.
Okay.
Where is history? History.
It's H, so it's after D and before the I.
I got it.
Nailed
There's
it.
no
15.
Okay.
15. Okay.
So I would say if you know absolutely everything, I would say give a B answer.
Okay. All right, let me
If you
finish
like,
typing.
you're completely up to you as to how much information
Okay.
you're willing to share.
And
But-
I can do that.
And to be clear, from my perspective, I'm trying to get us a starting point to do further research. Right.
Yeah.
So when we go back to either Waterdeep or can get back in touch with Luskin, like
Essentially,
Luskin clearly had a library where they had a whole floor on fiends that we could then say, "Hey, we need information on."
Who said anything about fiends? This guy here.
I asked last time. I need to know what books you have on fiends and what books you have on fays. And you said fiends are on this floor and fays are on this floor. And I wrote down the floors. So that's what I'm saying is like if we know what the enemy type is, we can then kind of filter our way down to looking for their enemy thing and then trying to figure out what they are in whatever. So that's what I'm trying to do. Is I'm trying to say we've now encountered them twice. Who had Astrid has the best knowledge of them being a paladin and having come from this stuff, and me and Val don't, and Valen. So we were just trying to start find out where we could start from to start doing research on. We got good looks at them at this point. So
Yeah.
all right, I was so on.
I recognized one of them from a previous interaction that I've had. The one that I primarily fought is a fiend. So they come from hell. So they're particularly hard to kill.
Coming from hell. That
You know that it's a
that
devil or
explains the spell of brimstone.
demon.
A fiend?
Do you know if it's a fiend is a broad category? Do you know if it's a devil
Yeah.
or a demon? It's in parentheses next to the monster type.
Oh, devil.
Okay. That's not good.
Not particularly.
Neither of them are good, but
if you have a group of people from hell chasing you, you've definitely pissed someone off.
sure.
Is what I'll say.
I mean, based on how it fought and stuff, I mean, my assumption is it's not a lesser devil.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
They're often referred to as Arañes.
Internets, I think is what yeah.
Yeah.
It's a word we never use, so
Definitely not someone that you would like to cross paths with in a dark alley.
Oh, unfortunately, we've crossed paths with them twice in 2 different dark alleys, and it's not been fun either time. So I can confirm that information at least. But I agree we should continue to try and find what information we can on these creatures and these beings so that we're better prepared for the future, as knowledge in itself is a very powerful weapon.
I mean, for one, the spell you cast on me was very effective. And knowing
Yeah,
that
I had
they're
a
fiendish in nature.
yeah. After our last encounter, I had an inkling of not exactly what they are, but what they might be, and that spell felt right, and I'm glad to know that seems helpful.
Just from my curiosity, what spell was that?
It was a joke. You guys aren't supposed to stop.
Yeah, throwing us all off.
Just silence.
To be fair, that spell is so broad. If it's not a dragon or a beast, you're pretty much covered.
that was a protection from good and evil. Something that I picked up in my travels and in my training as a Horizon Walker. I've encountered various beings throughout the plains, and this spell has saved me more than once. And these bounty hunters or whatever they are that are after us, they had a particular smell about them that I recognized the last time they beat the shit out of us. And I didn't want the same outcome twice. I believe that if you live to fight another day, then you should have learned something to make you a much more terrible and terrifying enemy to what had to your enemies than before. So realizing that, I made sure to prepare or
Is
to not.
Shyvana's here?
She's in the kitchen.
Knowing that they're from Hell, and she is a tiefling, I'm curious if she would have any idea what the other one would be. So I'm going to go see if I can talk to Shyvana's real quick and describe the other one to her.
Okay.
Hey, Shyvana's.
Yes.
Hey, I'm not sure if you would know what this is, but we confirmed that one of the assailants had got away. We have a pretty good idea that it's a devil of some sort. So I'm not sure if the other one is related or not. It was humanoid in nature. It had my magic sword. My shadow blade didn't work on it. It tried to use mind control on me. What else? It could go invisible.
The other one I recognize, of the three that came, I recognize one is a drow.
No, it wasn't that one. He looked like a.
No, there
He
was
like
no
a
other
humanoid, and
he. No, it wasn't a
he
he.
is-
It was a large female and kind of a disheveled old woman.
I bet it was. All right, Viva, you have to remind me. The first time we encountered them was, I believe that one was also in disguise as well. All right. So I didn't want to just play that. I think that the disheveled old woman would be it. So I think because it can turn invisible and everything else, and the first time we encountered them, this one definitely looked different. Because it looked like one thing, and then my brother fought it, and eventually it dropped its appearance. And then it looked like a tiger, but I got a good look at it this time. Its hands were reversed.
No. I'm familiar. I'm familiar with what you're talking about.
Oh.
And if you've crossed paths with this, I don't know if any of you are going to be safe again. It most definitely was a Rakshasa.
All right, so we have a name
They-
to what the other one is.
Yes.
Well,
Astrid told us what the other one was.
yeah, no, saying so we have a name for both of them.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
so
and a Rakshasa is not going to give up.
well, I can kind of figure that out after the second time after we tried to ignore it the first time. So what do we? I mean, we have to try and do something eventually. We're gonna try and figure out. We're gonna try to take this information and the information from the two encounters, and somewhere along this path, we're going to have to take the fight to them, because they've just been stalking us and hunting us and picking essentially the terms of the fight. We're gonna have to prepare and do some research for these beings.
DW, if this is where you're starting, they're so far ahead of you. They know your name, your real name. They know of the manor. They know much more about you than you all are just finding out their species. This is not going to be an easy task.
Yeah. But it's also something we can't just ignore because it leads to someone's
there will
death.
be no ignoring it. I'm positive of that. Hopefully they just don't come back here.
We're going to have to do what we can to fortify the keep. Make sure you're prepared. Again, hire the appropriate protection. And
I can ask some of Red's men to station here.
I think we're gonna have to get outside help eventually. So I think ultimately, yeah, we're going to have to continue to invest in the town and grow it. So we'll discuss it with everybody. But yeah, I think that's what we're gonna have to do.
Yeah, I would have assumed that Astrid and I would have
Yeah.
walked off.
When he started speaking with Shivanis.
Mhm.
Oh, you wouldn't have waited for me to get an answer? Okay.
Nope.
She was like partway, like she was already out the door when you stopped
I was
her.
literally like 1 foot out of the door.
Okay. All right. Well, I go back to go tell everyone what happened, and then they're all gone. So then, I guess I'll go try and catch up, and then I turn it over to the rest of the group to talk.
Vel and Astrid had started to walk down the hills into town. Free of the keep, they're able to speak freely.
This is you.
Do you happen to know who the Harper contact is in this town?
What
You
I
act
have.
like you've been here before.
You know from the last time that the sleeping giant is where you were introduced, and that's kind of like where people of the order and the last time the Harpers had met.
Okay. Yeah, we can go over to the sleeping giant. It's on the east side of town, over here.
Let's head that way. Lead the way.
As he leads you through some of the winding streets of Phandalin to the sleeping giant, as you approach, there becomes like a ruckus, and you see, like, you hear chanting and cheering, shattering a glass, and then just like someone get tossed through the front doors of the sleeping giant. That person kind of like stands up, dusts themselves off, and then wanders back into town.
Yeah, this is Darth's happy place.
Oh,
Um,
I can see why.
yeah, I'm surprised he's not. I wouldn't be surprised if he was the one to toss that poor schmuck out.
Wait,
Uh,
I wouldn't be carrying the hammer, so the hammer probably still at the keep.
Yeah, we're not. I'm not expecting him to be there. I'm just saying, like, thematically, I would not have been surprised to see him in there.
Got it.
But yeah, so we'll walk into the sleeping giant.
As you enter this familiar pub, there is still like a lot of like there's patting on the back of this kind of very giant man, these big bulging shoulders, and everybody's kind of giving him some props and patting him on the shoulders as he goes back to his stool at the bar. Immediately, let me get a perception check from Ashid with advantage.
Okay. Why are you laughing?
Just because of your reaction to being asked to do a perception check. 12.
I like it. I think it's funny that Dave is laughing at other people's poor rolls.
It
My
takes you.
perception rolls are like particularly horrendous.
Yeah, but at least you hit double digits. David can have like a +5 or higher, and he'll still not hit double digits.
You look around this
That's
room and
true.
you see a handful of figures that, while there was this huge commotion, kind of keep their cool and keep this like kind of mellow pace to them. You're little unsure. 3 of them you assume might be your contact.
Okay.
And I don't recognize any of them.
No. If she
Okay,
doesn't
that's fine.
recognize them, you.
Um,
I'm
Do
pretty
you
sure
see-
you used some last time, Terry.
I'll head that direction.
Okay, so I guess what you're trying to determine is which one of these 3 is your contact.
Yeah, basically.
Uh-huh.
Is there an open table near them?
Yeah, there's like, okay, so if they're in like the perimeter benches,
I'm assuming they're like in a corner.
yeah, they're kind of like in the perimeters lining the wall, one in a corner, and then the other 2 spread out in booths.
Mhm.
You take a seat at a table that's visible to all 3.
Okay. I mean, this seems obvious, but any of them wearing Harper pins? That would be too obvious, though, right?
Well, with your perception check, you didn't notice that.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Got it.
I'll assume that because she had advantage, I was helping her look, so I don't get my own roll.
Oh, if you wanted it, yeah, no.
No, I'm
No.
good. I am
Yeah.
good with giving her help. I do not want to ask for more rolls than necessary.
What I'm gonna say is, at this
I'll
point, I think
walk
you need to
over-
figure out a clever way to figure it
To
out.
figure it out.
I'll walk over to the bar. I'll put down a gold, which is like 10 to 12 times more than needed for drinks. I'll put down a gold, and next to it my Harper pin on the table, and then ask for drinks for me and Astrid, and ask the barkeep if he knows. Subtly ask the barkeep if he knows where the Harper contact is, and to point me in the correct direction.
Yeah, Harper.
Attempting to be one, but yes, I am with the Harper's group. I'm here with my
So you would know the handshake.
superior officer. There is not a handshake. Don't do this to me, Viva.
No, you're right. There's not a handshake.
You passed the
Please.
test.
I believe I'm the one you're looking for.
Well then, I'm glad that that one so well established can also provide good drink. My companion and I are looking for some information. And I'll
Give me a minute. And he waves over another bar. Keep mind the table or mind the bar for a second. And he grabs 3 of the like growlers of
Mhm.
ale. And he comes over and he brings it to your table with you and Astrid.
I'll sit down. Astrid, seem to have found our contact. I'll introduce myself. Mask down, hood down. Val.
How you doing, Val? And you are Astrid, huh?
Seems word travels fast.
Well, it's our job, isn't it?
True.
I was told that both of you'd be in this area eventually.
Yeah. We've been pretty well traveled these days.
Yeah, it's been difficult to get information to you all at the speed you've been traveling. But welcome home.
Thank
at least
you.
for the time being. Now, what can we do for you?
We. Have you heard any word from the north?
From the north? From
Yeah.
where you just came from?
Yeah.
I've heard little. What I have heard is that there's some new settlements from some of the ice folk up there. Seems as though new parts of the Great North have been settled by recently freed tribe. And then I heard a ridiculous rumor coming from the coast in the north of all the things. Seems as though there's rumors of a band of pirate kobolds that are terrorizing the coastal line. But I don't put much stock into those kind of rumors.
Val hearing this thinks to himself, the next time I see those fucking kobolds, they're going to get such a fucking terrifying like reprimand from me. They were tasked to go help the one lady on her farm in a sunny location, not terrorize the fucking coast as pirates.
Could be any kobolds on the ship. We don't know it's our kobolds. But they're scumbags.
Astrid will hide a smile in her drink. She drinks.
I don't say this out loud, but I'm thinking this to myself, and I am a little upset. But also very excited for the potential of a one-shot where we play these fucking pirate kobolds.
Ready?
All right, continue. Sorry.
Other than that, not much news is coming from the north.
That's fair. Not much news comes from the north in general.
Yeah.
What's the latest word from Waterdeep?
Well, they've certainly upped their security, and it seems as though they're ready to have a party, go in search of one of the worm seekers.
What?
The Worm Seekers, they are kind of like the generals of the dragon cult.
Okay.
My mask is actually one of the identifying pieces of either a Worm Seeker or one higher than a Worm Seeker. These we've had a couple of run-ins with some. We've encountered Rezimir, the Black, whom
Talus.
I have their mask, and then Talus the White, whom
Didn't have a
I
mask.
can't quite remember.
Are you saying
if,
this out loud?
to Astrid? I'm giving her a quick rundown.
Because at the mention of the white, your barkeep. No, it seems as though the council's drawn their attention to Verum the White.
That's what that's what I was confused by. I remember there being another mention of strife within their ranks between Verum and Talus, which is partially what our group started to cut a deal with Talus, if I remember correctly, for this. But as you can imagine, our negotiating skills quickly turned into what's the word? Aggressive diplomacy.
Oh,
Um,
I've heard of your diplomacy.
you've heard of my brother's diplomacy,
Yeah.
or our Dragonborn's diplomacy.
Let's just say murders and acquisition has, within certain circles, has started to carry a certain name.
We've acquired a reputation. But I'm not there. I'm just making the jokes.
Yeah. You've acquired a certain name.
There it is. I was helping you with the puns. I had to get you there.
Nailed it.
Nice. Have there been any more reports of assassinations?
There have been several all along the Sword Coast. Deputies, sheriffs, bankers. I would say most of Pharaon is on high alert right now. But nothing quite as big as last month, which I know you're all familiar with.
Yeah. Yes. Do you have any other about water?
My only other question is has the Harper Network gained any additional information on the Drakenhorn that might have made its way to you, or if at all, we might have to go back to Ramilla. I think that's part of our next steps, or to go check in with her at least. But I wanted to check with you to see if any of that news has made its way this way through the chains.
My understanding is you all were on the look for the Drakenhorn, so this would be the first news I've received. Was it not up there in the north, in the Sea of Moving Ice?
It was moved before we
Really?
got there.
So that trip was in vain? Nothing came from it?
Well, there is a reason that there are new settlements within the Ice Folk.
That was you.
Yeah, we
Interesting.
might have disposed of the pest that was plaguing them.
No kidding.
we made contact within the Brotherhood of Arcane, or the Arcane Brotherhood, through our travels up there. So we now have a semi-working relationship with them, and they were helping us gather information and lore on the Dragonhorn and some of the surrounding issues with it. But
Really?
unfortunately,
Those snooty
we had no lead.
assholes, huh?
Sometimes you get your information where you can.
Man, I understand, but God, those pretentious assholes. I get you.
Very, very pleasant area though, Luskin. Very pretty tree.
I've heard.
Nice and warm comparative to the Windales. But
Oh, as you can tell, and he kind of like shows off his like bulging muscles and his very like his tank top. He's like, I'm not made for that cold. I prefer warmer climates. And he does like the little peck downs.
Mm. Did he ever give us his name when
No,
I
he
introduced
didn't.
myself? Okay. I won't push him. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss that in my notes.
Before I overstay my welcome, is there anything else?
Yeah. As I'm sure you've been here over the past couple of days, the town
Months,
lost.
years.
The town's lost a very strong and key figure in Red.
Yeah,
and I know a lot of the
bastard.
townspeople. I know a lot of the townspeople are distraught with this. I didn't know him myself, but I've heard stories from Shivanis in passing. This town will need some protection, and I know you provide quite a bit through your information gathering and distributing. I wanted to check with you to see if you know of any other resources that we might be able to leverage for this town. And if not, no worries. We are going to. I think our next plan is to go to Waterdeep and check there as well. But
I would say that Red was a great man, and what he did was train the guards and create an atmosphere in which the town can now defend itself. And it was grave misfortune that we lost him, but the leadership of Shivanis, she continues to be the purest of us all. We put our faith in her to provide. Hell, she brought you all here when we needed you most. I think we'll be all right.
okay. The only other thing that I have in my mind is, I didn't know if Astrid was given anything other than finding contacts within the various locations we go to. Does the Harpers have any other significant way of communicating that I, as a relatively new Harper, may not know? We want to be able to either drop off information or any resources we might need to, or gather any resources in any drop locations. I didn't quite get the whole training regiment due to some circumstances.
I would say just stick close to Astrid. She'll show you how to navigate this.
Oh, don't worry. I plan to stick close to her. She's earned my trust over time and time again. And is Skull like at the table, or is he sitting outside?
Oh no, he's literally like
Okay, I was gonna turn over and watch Skull and say like, Skull's also got his eyes out for us, and I'll give him a little head scratch. But that's
Begrudgingly obliged.
I rolled a nat 20. That dog loves me.
Yeah, but he's
I think-
got
I
to keep
think
up his.
No, it's okay.
Okay,
It's okay. He can keep
so-
up his appearances, but
So
he'll-
in
I'll
this
take the
instance,
begrudging.
he kind of gives like a little bit of a growl, and then looks at the barkeep, and you get the sense that he's trying to keep up his like
His tough guy look. His tough guy.
His demeanor.
tough guy act, yeah. Like you trying to pet him like a dog in front of this man.
You can't. He can't see his foot top thumping when you scratch him right now. He's like, I gotta hold it back.
Yeah, that little slight tail wag.
But that's it. That's all I've got.
Val, why don't you go grab us another round?
Sure. I'll head over to the other barkeep.
I didn't catch your name.
I didn't catch yours, but I know it, so it's only fair. I am Dathos.
Nice to meet you. Officially.
It is an honor to be in your presence. Your name already carries weight.
Well, then you should also know that it is not something I appreciate that my name carries weight.
It carries weight in the very smallest of circles, I can assure you.
I hope to keep it that way.
If we're any good at our job, it will remain that way.
And since you're in this town, I assume you're very good at your job.
It's become a little bit more exciting since M&A has helped salvage this town. But I have a sense that we could beat the small talk. What is it that I can help you with?
I have a request for information to send to Waterdeep. I would like to have the information by the time we're there, which should be in a couple of days.
Okay.
I need whatever information we have on the character that just went and got us drinks and his brother.
They've certainly piqued a lot of interest within the Harpers.
I'm sure.
Okay. What else?
I also need to know if we have any contacts within the City of Doors.
City of Doors. Interesting. That information may be harder to come by, but okay.
All you can do is ask, right?
Oh, I love asking, and he just kind of cracks his knuckles.
I'm surprised we haven't crossed paths before. It seems that
Oh.
our asking type is very similar.
You know, there are some of the Harpers that enjoy finesse, and then there are the rest of us who like to beat finesse out of them.
That's my favorite way.
Just the two? Just the two requests.
One more, but I don't have a lot of information. There's been a band of fiends wandering around. They might be bounty hunters. There's definitely an Arañez.
You don't know what the other one
And
is.
I'm
You
not-
walked away too early.
There's
This
a
is-
drow. And I'm not sure of the third.
There was a drow, is my understanding.
Yes.
No, I have looked into this.
I guess it is recent for you. My condolences.
Yeah. Sometime back, we had received word that a message was sent out through the network of thieves, and that drew the attention of some very powerful people. Someone in Baldur's Gate had asked questions that were not meant to be asked,
Hmm.
and had used a network that wasn't nearly as secure as ours. And that drew the attention of your fiends.
They're just the hired muscle.
Seems as though they're a hired muscle for somebody, and whoever can afford those monstrosities, I think is better off not. For most people, it's better off not knowing, but we're the curious type, right?
Exactly.
Shh.
Any whispers on who that someone is?
It seems as though that maybe those powers are from the further south. That they're in this territory means that we don't know who they are and what those potentials are. That's about as much as we've got so far.
Okay.
There was a drow, a rakshasa, and the Arañez.
Okay. That sounds right.
Okay. Best of luck to you on your
Anything-
travels.
Anything you need for me to take back to Waterdeep?
Everything I've already provided to him. We work swiftly around here,
I appreciate that.
of course. And I thank you for all your service.
Of course. Thank you for your information.
I guess I come back with the other drinks at this point.
The bar must be pretty packed.
Yeah. We can just continue to small talk and finish drinks, and then
I
he
need
will
to get
obviously have
I need
to
to get back to the bar. And he
Of course.
gives you a
Thank you for your
PPD,
time.
heads back behind the bar.
And then I guess it's just Ashton and I. So
I guess at this point I should have done this earlier, but here we are. We should check to see if any of those other figures that are sitting in the corners have been listening in. So
just like to look around and see if they've been like paying attention
Yeah.
to us and
yeah,
trying to listen in on our conversation.
Okay, perception.
help you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, that'll work.
You look. Two of them continue to be like just with their capes drawn and their hoods drawn over their head, just staring into their cups. The third that had been in the corner, you look at him, and he's waving at you.
Do I recognize them?
You don't recognize him.
Do
But on-
I recognize it?
No, but on closer inspection, you recognize the symbol of the Order of the Gauntlet.
Oh no. Jesus.
Hey, fuckers, what's up? You're back, huh? Some real shit you started. Where's my boy?
Ulan.
I
Would he
expected-
recognize? He wouldn't know who I was because I was Rainer the last time I was in the town.
He doesn't recognize only you except for this aura you guys. Well,
Okay, yeah, he just realized that we were with the group. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ulan.
Yeah,
He's,
you're M&A. I know this much. But yeah, my boy Ulan. Is he here?
Unfortunately, the Goliath is not currently with us. He is rectifying an issue back in his homeland.
That's
He's up,
crazy. He's
he's up
probably
north.
farming some supple, Gotcha.
I'm sorry.
It's
Wink,
wink,
Ulan.
wink. Yeah, beers. You want
No.
beers?
No. Thank you. We've had.
You
I'm
miss
still full, thanks.
All right. Anyways, what are y'all fuckers up to now, huh?
Heading back.
Back where?
To keep. And then to Water's Deep.
Gotcha. Yeah, Water's Deep's a real shit show. I wouldn't even bother. Fuck, the whole world's doomed. But we got a holy task, right?
Yeah, and thank you for you and your men being out here and providing what help you can. You guys, from my knowledge, you guys have been here for a while since since just before the dragon showed up. If I'm correct.
Yeah, no, yeah, we got members that kind of like they wander around.
Hmm.
We had this guy, his name was Stinky Pete, just fucking did not want to settle. Wandered for miles he was in the swamps for the longest time, loved it. Smelled like shit. But you had to spread the word, just we're out there doing our thing, Stinky Pete. God rest his soul. Anyways.
Alrighty, well, it's been good seeing you. We best be heading off. Just awkwardly, pat him on the shoulder and start heading out the door.
Yeah, no, I'll probably see you guys around.
Yeah.
Order of the Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
We'll scurry on out and head back towards. Is there anything else you needed to go, or do you want to head back to the keep?
No.
We'll then head back towards the keep.
Who was that?
Order of the Gauntlet.
Oh, the meatheads.
Meatheads, kind of fanatics. Their heart's in the right place, from what I can tell. They gave us Ulan, and he's definitely one of the best of them. But yeah, and then I'll head back and go check in with the crew, just in general, and just talk to them and let them know our game plan.
Yep, I'll wander back in that way as well.
Where are you at now at this point, Valen?
I think I just got to indulge with all the townsfolk's hospitality. I'm still at the plaza. I mean the town plaza. Yeah.
Indulge on their hospitality. So you've now
Well, if you want me to move back to the gate, I mean to the keep, I can.
You do whatever you want. I'm going to describe what I think you're doing.
Okay.
Oh God.
You want me to describe what I think you're doing?
Oh, please go ahead. I love to hear. I love to hear this.
After your songs had been done and the town folks kind of rallied around you, you found yourself like kind of adorned by all of these people as they come up and they start to give you some of their finest crops. You've over the course of the last hour, you've managed to find yourself kind of like laid up against this early stage that you're on, and you have like kind of just like this wine like dribbling off of your mouth onto your chest, and as the town folks continue to feed you all their luscious goods.
Wow.
This is what I think you're doing. As you sample a little bit of what Phandalin has to give you.
Hey, a bar feels. I mean, it feels good for a bar like that. People appreciate his words. So
Yeah,
hey,
yeah. So you're digging it. Um, at this point, you realize you're getting kind of mid afternoonish,
mhm.
and it's up to you what you're gonna do next.
In that case, I will probably start moving back to the keep and then start gather where are the rest of my team, and then see if Shyvana's need anything to help like do the upkeep about the around the mansions, or any assistance that she might need for security or stuff like that.
Shyvanis assures you, Valen, we're quite good here. We
Mm,
although what happened to Red was misfortunate, it was. I still feel safe in our home, and that is why we brought the townsfolk here.
all
This
right.
is this is the heart of Phandalin. Not by our design, but by
Oh,
Phandalin's
it's
design.
definitely it wasn't. I mean, we were definitely the people that got accepted by the town, and it is most fortunate that it's not just you or the Red, that, and including myself and Lee and Val, we, and the rest of the team, we're all fortunate to. I honestly, like all those sunsets ago, I never could have imagined that I mean, we would set roots at this town. But I mean, it is what it is, and think I think that we're really lucky that this is the place that we decide to set our foundation on.
No, I think we have a strong foundation here. And although it chopped off one of our greatest limbs, we'll continue to flourish. But now that everybody's back here at the keep, I do want to show you something.
Okay,
Follow me.
do lead on.
She takes you down into the cellar of the keep to a thing that they had hinted at or shown you. There are still several enchanters there, but in one of the largest rooms, hidden behind a water, not a waterfall.
Wait, can we have an
No.
underground waterfall hiding
No,
this?
it was a water fixture.
Oh, okay.
I don't think you're there, but there's a hidden door behind a water fixture.
That would be so
She
cool.
She leads you, right? She leads you into an open room. And there, in the middle of the floor, is a finished teleportation circle. They've worked nonstop since the council has decided that we'd be there to provide services for them. Unfortunately, it is only usable with the help of the enchanters. And it's only going to get you to known places that also have enchanting circles that are teleportation circles that you're familiar with. But it seems as though we have a little bit more of a... We've added to our arsenal and what we could do against the cultists. Now, what's next for you all? What are you going to do?
Well, I know we need to head back to Waters Deep and report back and see if they have any additional information for us on where we can go next. Some of our leads paid out, some of them didn't, but we have to keep moving forward and
Are we all back now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had been role playing this like you guys were back.
That's what he said. And it was after everybody got gathered back, Shyvanis took us downstairs and showed us all this teleportation circle
okay.
together.
I thought he was only showing at the Balin. All right. Yeah. Do Val? Do you still need to go pick up anything from Wave Echo?
You wouldn't know of any of that.
But it's not ready yet.
Yeah, and I know it's not ready.
Okay. Do we have anything in?
So I guess then I raise the question. So I guess once we're ready, we're heading south again.
Yeah, we need to go. We need to continue to follow the Drakenhorn and what might be occurring. We have another lead. We should have another lead to follow.
Are we going to use the teleportation circle? Or are we going to use the airship?
Are we
going to?
Yeah, and also, is there DM? Can I meta gaming a little bit?
I mean, it hasn't stopped anybody else.
Oh no. So is there any way for at Fendelin? I mean, we know Fendelin is resourceful. Is there any way that we can outfit the ship so it doesn't require that much of strength to fire the cannon?
That wouldn't be metagaming. That's a legitimate question.
I mean, Fendelin is equipped with like the smith and everything. Like it should have the capability to outfit a ship.
You would have to talk to the blacksmiths in town.
Okay.
They would have to take a look at the cannons.
I think they would have to take some time because this town's not known for crafting airships.
Well, no. So airships is irregardless.
It's cannons
it's cannons that they're looking at. So the blacksmiths would have to take a look at it.
Okay. Where on the map can I go find
Lionheart?
Or would is it too late now? What I'm
Here's I guess it will take at least a week.
Yeah, I guess that's the. Well, then I will at the keep then with most of the is Leon around us as well or.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then at here, I will raise the question to the team saying that hey, so guys. I mean, out of all the times that we have spent on the airship, that I've noticed that it has always been kind of difficult for us to operate. I wonder if with the experienced blacksmith's assistants at Fendelin, if there's a way for us to find a method or pull our resources together to outfit the airship. So that we can I mean the cannon would be easier to fire and also maybe we can reinforce the body of the airship so that it can be what like I would say patched out with like steel bars and something like that so it would be more sturdier. I mean I know this is probably gonna add couple of days on our schedule before. I mean, I know we need to keep following the trails and hopefully the hints that we have gotten so far, they won't die off. but I think if we are thinking about keeping the airship long term, this would be a worse investment for us to do at here.
We
Because
still have
we
to
can
discuss
trust
this
because
with
we
the
can trust
crew.
the people at Finland. We don't know if we go to like water steep or like Boulder's Gate, even if we manage to find service over there, we don't know how much trustworthy they can be for their service. We know these people here.
Sure. So
Mhm.
we don't own the airship, so ultimately we still need to put it up to the crew of the airship if they're willing
That
to
too.
do it.
That too.
But it's a great idea. I don't know, from what I was able to understand of the item that now Usk has, I would prioritize.
This is almost two different things, though.
Well, he said reinforcing the ship. Which
Well, I'm saying, so what he's
and I'm
what he's
thinking,
saying
and I'm
is,
thinking I would prioritize the cannons and doing that improvement over the other improvement.
okay,
If we're prioritizing one or the other, and then
That's
because
true.
like I was just
Yeah, I agree.
like saying,
I agree. Yeah.
if one's adding length, if we add length every time we add something, I'm saying like I love
Plus
the idea of the cannons. The other
we
one
have
is just an
crewmates
extra
with
bonus.
magical items that can repair the ship. So
Right, and us
yeah,
part
you're right.
does a
You're
really
right.
good job
Like
of doing that. So I'm not sure how much we would need to do
mounting the offense would be more critical.
right, but nothing we can do to make the cannons easier for those of us that are not on the physical side to fire them easier. So if we had a way to make those easier for us to fire, that would be more more helpful. And the crew would probably appreciate that as well as just a general improvement on the ship,
Mm-hmm.
because they don't have the captain and such.
So who then? I guess
Not to
who
say that the
wants to
other
go
one won't
talk
work.
to
It's a matter of
the
timing.
to the who wants to talk to the captain? I mean, the first mate of the ship right now, or
Acting captain.
the acting captain, I guess you would say, and who wants to go trying to investigate with the local blacksmiths here.
Well, I mean, it'd be Lion Shield would be it. We have to see if they're up for it. The other option would be is if it takes a while, regardless, to do it. We don't need for us to use the airship for our transport back to Waterdeep. As Shavana's just told us, we can just teleport to Waterdeep, and then
Oh, so you mean that leave the airship here if we can convince the group that
if we can go
okay,
straight to Waterdeep,
that's
leave
one
the
way to
airship
do it. I
but
agree.
that doesn't give us any way to do anything once we're in Waterdeep, right? We get to Waterdeep, we teleported.
No, that's okay. I mean,
we'll have to find our own way once we're there, but at least the airship is here and it's
yes,
serviced, and maybe again we go down that other route of talking to them and figuring out if they want to start acting as a part of a part of the a Fandolin adjacent kind of thing. So
I think we should talk to the crew first. This is a lot of assumptions.
Yeah, let's
They may need
talk
go
to the
back
crew
their-
first and see if they will
still
even
have a
allow this to
contract-
do.
They still have a contract in Waterdeep that they need to complete.
Yeah.
We need to get them back to Waterdeep, is my understanding. We need to talk to them and see what they need to do. Then we can start having all these other conversations.
Okay.
right. So
Well, then let me
just
go
go to
talk
the group.
to the crew, and you
Okay.
guys get ready to move, and then pack, do whatever, and then I'll be back in about an hour or so.
Well, I mean,
all right, we're gonna take a break right there then.
Okay.
Okay.
Sound good?
Sound good?
Cool.
All right.
Hey Terry, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, you're here. I saw the messages between you and Alex in the Roll20 chat. I wanted to let you know you do have an open attunement slot, but you also had the spider staff that you can attune to as well. So you have
that's
choices.
true.
I am not telling you to not do one over the other.
But
Although
how many people can use spider staff on the team? Well, but it
just you.
actually, yeah. So I guess you know
want
what? Yeah, I will get
here's
the
thing.
staff.
Terry, if you
Yeah.
want my min-maxer metagame RPG brain to tell you, like to give you advice of what I would do, this doesn't have to be you. You play your character your way. I'm literally just giving advice. I would take the spider stuff. I would attune to that, unattune to the gauntlets of ogre power, and then attune to the ring of cold resistance, because then I would give you a resistance to cold, because you don't use strength. Your attacks are all dex based. You have great stats anyway. You have a +4 to dex anyways. I don't think you like innately need a 19 strength. And so I think it would make more sense for you to unattune to the gauntlets, get the spider staff, because that increases your spells that you get to use that don't cost spell slots. You have the Wand of Winter, and then the Ring of Cold Resistance, which means you gain a resistance to cold, which makes you beefier.
Then I guess I will give the strengths to either
you don't have to give it to
Astrid or no. I can. I mean, I don't want the item to hang out and not being used.
Well, that's the thing is
team.
we're getting to a point. Yeah, we're all getting to a point in the game where we're all full on attunement slots. So just hold on to it for now.
Okay.
And then like we don't have to do it like we don't have to do all of this every single time we get a new item, but like hold on to it for now and just we'll remember that like each person has these in their inventory, and we'll get to a place in the game where we either sell off things we don't need, we find NPCs that could use them, or we find NPCs that are willing to barter and trade for them. It might come up in a story somewhere. So just hold on to it. But I'm letting you know if that made sense to you. Also, pick your other 5th level spell because you're missing a spell slot.
Got it. I will.
I'm gonna go take a break and use the bathroom. Terry, your RPing has been dope. That song was awesome. I swear I knew where it was from, and I was like, every time you come up with a new song, I'm like, man, I just want to like sit here and jam out and go watch.
I feel like this entire I think I'll be honest to every one of you, like 40% of the songs I sing would be from the anime, and 40% would be from J-pop, and another 20% will be from the Chinese and the Taiwanese song that I know. That's my composition of music.
I fucking love it. I can't sing for shit. I don't know how to sing these songs because they're all in languages that I'm, ignorant towards learning any new languages. But I absolutely fucking love it. It's so good.
Thank you.
So I thank you. I thank you for continually being creative and being out there enough to share that with everyone else, because I know all of us here in the game love it, and everyone in the stream also does like it too. So it's pretty great. But I also want to make sure that we don't say, hey, you have to do this for us every single time you do inspiration or do bard stuff, because you don't
all the time, please.
Okay, apparently you have to sing for Emily all the time.
Because David can't.
I can't. I don't know how I made it this far in this relationship if I can't sing, but
it's okay. She loves you for your other talents. So
maybe. I have one more thing that I need from you outside of the game, but it's for the game. You need to show me what earring or what hairpiece you want for your character. I have everything else, and I did.
All right, I'll go look it up for you.
I'm gonna DM you what I have right now, because I did make something just for shits and giggles for it. But I do want to see what you want. You want it to be. So I'm gonna DM a screenshot to you real quick.
Got it.
What I put in there, but you let me know if you like this or not, or if you have something else. And if you have something else, totally cool. I will do the updatey.
The updatey.
The updatey.
Boom,
the updatey. There, it is in your Discord DM.
Okay.
But Whenever
Actually,
you get
I
to that.
like that hairpiece, but if the ruby can be switched out to like sapphire,
Man,
like
don't give me that
blue.
shit. No, that's bullshit. Look at number, what was it? Where is it? Where is it? Number 7 in your list. I'd like Valen to wear a hairpiece on one side, silver base with a small ruby socketed. Fuck you,
That's
man.
true. That's true. That's
I
true.
will change it to sapphire because I love you, but you told me it's ruby and I put a ruby there. But I'll change it to sapphire.
Okay.
That's literally the easiest thing. I
I
literally just
thought
changed the
I
color
thought
base.
ruby will look good on me, but if it felt
Everything
like
else is
ruby
blue.
is a little bit too
What, you don't like that
out
little
there.
pop?
Your eye.
You don't like that little pop right there on your hair?
It's a little
I can
bit.
change.
I mean,
I'll change.
red.
Here's
I
what I'll
don't know,
do.
like the
Terry,
color.
Terry,
See,
here's what I'll do. I'll do both. I will do both,
More kids
and
like
I will.
this.
I
Alright.
no. I will do
Thank
both,
you.
and I'll send you both, and you pick which one you like best.
And actually, I love the hairdo. The hairdo is pretty awesome. Hairdo is pretty nice.
Thank you. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. You haven't seen the rest of the updates that I've done with your stuff, but I will show that once it's all complete.
Got it.
Cool. All right. I'm actually gonna go take a break now and use the bathroom and get something to drink.
All right.
So I'll be back in a little bit.
Oh，还有啊，你也
What
太
up,
夸
Terry?
张了吧
You
？What
talking
up? No, I'm playing the mobile Gundam game during break. I'm just doing some daily. So it looks like people are getting on board with the Outrider, huh?
to? Yeah, seems like.
I'm probably gonna pop in, like started to hop on like toward the end of the season on Destiny.
Uh-huh.
I've been enjoying way too many Assassin's Creed Origin right now. I've been swapping in and out between Destiny and Assassin's Creed Origin, so
I'm curious, is this not the end of the Destiny season for you?
for this season, there are only few achievements left, but yeah, I'm pretty much done with everything. So this is why I'm kind of letting go a little bit. Because even with the only title I want to guild, the Conqueror, there's not much for me to do other than just play 2 more Grandmaster Nightfall and then I'll get it. Yeah, but the rest of them is just bounty stuff that I go into store, and that's pretty much it. And I still want to keep maintaining my PvP stats in, trying to keep working on the improving. But the rest of it, like the PvE stuff, I've been pretty chill recently.
Right on.
I think if I find the energy next season, I will again start attempting soloing the prophecy. But if I ever done, because I'm pretty close with Shattered Throne, so if I'm done with that solo flawless for Shattered Throne, then prophecy is the only one left, and then that I'm probably gonna take it easy because I've tried before for like a month and didn't work out, so I don't know if I ever want to go try it again. But when I have the energy, I will. But if not, then
Gotcha.
I'll just let it go. I'm too in love with the ancient Egypt right now. It's like
I heard
Assassin's
it's pretty
Creed
dope.
Origin is so amazingly beautiful.
All right.
Okay, we can come back from the break.
Is everybody back yet?
I don't see David. I don't know where I'm at.
Yeah, I think David's went to use bathroom and stuff and taking a break.
Well, while David's gone, I can go ahead and we can just role play, or we can just talk about. I'll give up the ring of cold resistance. I'll give that to
Okay.
Jalen. So, do you have D&D Beyond up?
Yep.
If you go to your
Atonement? I'm on it right
you
now.
go to manage items and click, and then under the filter, search for it. It should be ring of cold resistance.
Okay.
Did you find it?
Let me find the item.
Yep. Should be a rare item. It should be blue.
Yeah, the manage equipment page is loading constantly. I was able to load my character sheet, but
Okay.
I think other sub
When
features will.
when David does sit down, we can just get you to add it, and then
Yep.
we'll have him add it, and then
Oh no, hold up. Ring of what?
Hold resistance.
Code.
There's a bunch of resistance ones, but you just need the cold resistance one. And this means you
Got
take
it.
half damage from cold damage. Okay. You got it?
Yep. Choose an item. All right, got it.
All right. I'm removing it from mine.
Oh man, this.
Okay, David's back. Is Emily there?
I think she's grabbing a drink real quick.
Okay. Terry now has the ring of cold resistance.
He's looking a little icy.
Ice, ice, baby. Ice, ice, baby.
Too cold. Too cold. They don't get it. They don't get it, Terry.
They don't
Just
get
you
it.
and I get it.
I know.
Stop. Collaborate and listen.
Oh yes, I do not know Vanilla Ice.
Is any of the guy on HGTV?
Get the fuck out
He's
of here.
also the guy who did the ninja rap.
Go ninja. Go ninja.
What?
Go.
Oh my
ninja,
god,
go
that is
ninja,
so
go,
horrible.
Go ninja. Go
That
ninja. Go.
that is
Terry, I will literally fight you to the
atrocity.
death.
I will
That's
fight you, Terry.
atrocity.
That
Nope,
is
I will
a
fight you to
pure
the death.
fans' love of the
It's
Ninja Turtles.
it's a
It is one of the best Ninja
abomination.
Turtles
It is not
ever.
an abomination. That is a white guy rapping at the peak of the 90s and love of Ninja Turtles. That is the pinnacle of what you can achieve at that point.
It was radical, dude.
There were a lot of things people did wrong back in the 90s, and that was one of
not one of them.
it. I don't know. Like when I first watched the movie,
You're totally wrong.
that
You're
was
totally wrong.
This
okay.
argument's gonna
Okay.
go nowhere.
I'm not gonna win. I'm not gonna win this argument. So I'll shut up.
Like they said, it was the
My wife
pinnacle of the 90s
just
for
laughed
them.
at me and then tweeted me a gif of the Go Ninja Go Ninja. She knows exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
She only heard
yeah,
my
let's-
side of the conversation, by the way. She knew exactly what we're talking about from my side of the conversation.
All right, so we're back in Phandalin. Valen had just told you all, stay here. I'm gonna go talk to the crew.
I already said I was going before.
Oh,
Valen-
okay. My bad.
No.
My
Like,
bad.
no, you go talk to them. I was just saying, like,
I think we
I
should
already
all go.
explained that
It's
I was
just like,
going to go
yeah.
talk to the crew and check in on them earlier, so I would have at least gone with you. I would
Okay.
feel like.
We're all
Sure.
gonna go.
Let's go together.
As you guys march down the South Hill, familiar with this particular route as you had ushered so many people to safety in that initial battle against the dragons, you find Thom Petty sitting there waiting. His crew aboard. The first to greet you is ex first mate, now Captain LeChap. Hi there, boys. What can we do for you? We've taken off. I promise you, Thom Petty's ready to go.
So I will walk on, basically I would approach closer and say, I hope the townsfolk has been treating you guys well. I mean, have you guys gotten a chance to take a look at Phandalin?
Yeah, sure. They've been the salt of the earth. These people.
Okay.
I can see why you all settled here.
Yeah, we're certainly fortunate that this town found us and then adopted us.
Bombo clap.
Okay. So, DM, may I roll persuasion right now?
Typically you talk and then roll persuasion, but
Well, I'm gonna continue my conversation, but like I think starting from this point, I will start trying to convince the ship's crews, and hopefully we can acquire their service at least until we finish with
I understand.
whatever we're chasing. Yeah.
You just role play it, and then we'll see how it goes.
Okay. I mean, in his okay, so I went. So basically, Valen kept on talking to the first mate, and then basically said that, well, it is nice that you guys have been able to familiar yourself with the townsfolk. I mean, we've certainly heard from the people at the plaza that, I mean, you guys have been interacting them well, and then the townsfolk find you guys pretty friendly and very welcoming. And part of the reason why is that, well, part of the things is that now you see why we had to go out and we have to go that extra few miles to achieve, or at least to attempt to achieve our goals and our mission for the sake of this entire town. I mean, Usk once asked me, what was the point? What was the sacrifice of the ship and your crew for our mission? And I've always wanted to show you and the crew this is the reason behind not just yours, but ours sacrifices as well. I mean, throughout our journeys for the last couple weeks and months, Liam lost his hand. We've lost our teammates. One of our most beloved friend lost his life against the invaders just recently. All this loss and deaths and sacrifices, we want them to mean something. And this is why we feel and this is why we've always felt finishing our mission is the utmost urgent matter at our hand. And this is why we acquired, and to be honest, I want to be completely straight with you. We want to continue our employment of your crew and your ship at least until we finish what we start out to do. And I don't know if this is something that you and your crew can even take a moment to consider, because with your airship and with our resources at the Fendelum, we can mount some serious offense. And hopefully to prevent what's about to happen across the Sword Coast. Because as I've told Usk before, I feel there's something big is about to come. As the dragons become restless across the area, and as all the kobolds and all the cultists, they've all became very active. I cannot imagine if what's being moved behind the scenes when it all comes together. I don't know how much more people we're gonna lose. So this is why we are all here today. We want to talk to you and your crew and see if there's any chance for us to continue or even consider you guys as our temporary crew, temporary companions, so we can finish our mission.
Please follow me into the captain's quarters. Seems as though this conversation may need to be held in somewhere a little bit less open.
Okay.
She leads you into the captain's quarter, where she sits you into a chair next to the hearth that previously a dire wolf had crawled from. Valen, it is no it has not become unnoticed which the peril this world is in since we've met you. You've all opened our eyes into the greater danger of the Sword Coast. And I promise you that our captain's life will not be lost in vain. The crew of Thom Petty we had no intention of leaving you all high and dry since we lost the captain. When that beast attacked, it became more clear than ever that it is time to put away maybe some of our more selfish endeavors and focus on the good of the world. I appreciate you talking to us. Now, we intend to get you to Waterdeep And that is not to say that is any way uh, contractual.
Okay.
What we intend to do is provide our services, so long as you all take care of us. Now understand this. We're short a crewmate. We need to. There are expenses that are
I
required.
understand.
But
Well, since you mentioned about your need and the services you might require for the ship and even the staff, let me make you one better offer. You and Thumb Petty's crew are in Fenelon. This is our home. And this is our town. People last night, Fenelon's people have shown they want to support our mission. They want to support this whatever endeavor that we're about to finish. I can provide Fenelon's service to you and your crew by improving and refitting the ship. And hopefully we can make it more sturdier, more agile, more lean and mean to fight against whatever that's about to come. What do you think about that?
I think you've acquired yourself an airship.
Dun, 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 dun.
So long as you're willing to pay our daily fees.
Oh, no problem. I think with the assets and with the estates that we hold at the Fenelon, we have enough resources that we can definitely keep all of the staffs or all of the crew on Thumb Petty paid during your stay here.
I think we'll see this through the end, eh? She reaches out her hand to clasp.
And as Valiant also reach out his, that's the deal.
To the end.
To the end. Okay, I guess we can head out, and may I share the news with my companion?
No, curious, how this outfitting of how long do you suppose it'll take?
We're all there.
I don't. Okay, so here's the thing. We need to talk with this blacksmith here, but I don't think the outfitting would take more than maybe 6 to 7 days. Once the blacksmiths get a hands and understand exactly what type of the cannons and what kind of arsenals that the ship is carrying, I believe our blacksmith is skillful enough that they can carry out the outfitting in less than 7 days.
You all have 7 days that you can part with?
I mean, we have, so here's the thing. If it's indeed that the Tom Petty's crew is on board with getting ready for the longer battle and for the future, then my suggestion would be me and my companions, we can use the transporter gate circle, go to Waterdeep and acquire whatever information that we need, and come back. And so you and your crew can rest fully at Pendulum. And once we get back, and we'll be ready to launch any day, anytime.
Seems as though keeping us here while you do that there. It's a
Or
good
unless
use
you
of-
have important
use-
business
no,
that you
no.
have to.
No, it seems like a good use of time.
Okay.
Godspeed.
Thank you very much. Then I will go talk to my companion and share this great news with them. And Valen basically turned around and then, well, actually he bowed first and then turned around and then opened the door and he left the
Valen.
room.
Valen,
Yes,
no need to bow. You salute your captain.
understood.
You were this close to getting him out of being formal, and then you just corrected it. It was amazing.
All right, so as I left the captain's cabinet, I saw Vale and everybody's there, and I said, "Guess what, guys?
Val and the other person, and then the other person.
No, Val, Leon, and Astrid. Okay, so I said to them,
Heck those other guys.
And a hammer.
so I think we have Tom Petty's crew on board with our mission. That means they're gonna offer their service and the airship to us, at least until we finish what we started to do. Because I just got the, yeah, I just got the handshake agreement from the acting captain, and she's on board with what we're about to do. And my information to her was, we can host Tom Petty and her crew here at Fendelin for a couple of days, getting ready for the refitting, and while we travel to Waters Deep, figure out what we need to do next. What do you guys think?
I think that's a good plan. We should probably just really quickly confirm with the local blacksmith, either it's Lion Shield or someone else, just to confirm that they're okay with this.
All right.
And then, just so the crew doesn't have to deal with it, just
Okay.
set it up and our name or whatever, and
Well,
we can go.
Leon, you and Val are the more experienced and familiar ones with blacksmithing and weaponry. So maybe you two can go talk to the blacksmiths while maybe
How so?
Astrid and my
I put in a few custom.
Leon literally is having
haven't
a
done
mechanic
anything.
arm. He's
I didn't
equipping
make
He has a
and
mechanical arm that is magical, and we bought for him from somewhere. There's
Baldur's Gate.
I guess so. Well, I
no,
guess
it
true.
came from somewhere else. Is where I was getting at, Alex.
Right, but I got it. Baldur's Gate. I don't know where it came from.
But yes, we can all go talk to the blacksmiths.
Okay. If we all want to go, then we all go. That's fine.
You have your bag of holding, right, David?
No, I gave that to Valen.
Yeah, I
We
have
a
the
bag of
holding right now.
We have one, yes.
Okay.
We have one. Yes,
Okay,
we have
okay.
one.
We have a bag.
Valen
of
has it
holding.
for all of his needs and cheese.
I have the
storing
bag
and
of
meat
holding
storing.
and another bag for the magical thingy that I can get money from Siobhan.
Yes, the magic money pouches, as you call
Yeah.
it, or the magic money pocket, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then, okay. So yeah, we have. All right, we have a ton of stuff we have to offload at some point, but yeah, let's go talk to Lion Shield Coasters. I mean, honestly, Valen,
Hey.
while I'm thinking about it, is we can see while they're reinforcing the cannons and we're leaving the ship here for a period of time. Let's
Mm.
see, because they've worked on. They made the armor I'm wearing. Do you want to see if they can work on, or if they can use any of the materials from the White Dragon, to use that to reinforce the ship? Let's just offer and see.
That might be a great idea. I mean, I don't. When it comes to dragons material, I've only seen it used for magical bounding, imbuing for
Well,
weaponry.
right. We have a couple. We've had some dragon bone arrows, or we have the dragon bone
Yeah, but I
bow.
don't. But I've never seen.
The scales have been used for making shields and stuff. Like, I mean, we have
I
had
guess that's
things.
true. I guess that's true.
It just depends on how you use the plating of it. And we carved up that one white dragon pretty well. So let's just see what we have versus what they could use, and offer it. If not, then we'll just hold on to it till.
Yeah,
can use it for
I'll
something else.
defer this to our blacksmiths because to be honest, the only thing
Let's go.
I'm most familiar with the dragon parts is cooking them. So
Hey Terry, go ahead and reload your D&D Beyond character sheet. I put in the bag of colding in there
okay.
because I reflavored the bag of holding for it a couple weeks
Did you
ago.
add that as a item on D&D Beyond for people to use? Nice.
Mhm.
Okay, so you guys cross Phandalin. Immediately, you guys see just like a great change in the attitude here, as Phandalin is kind of back on their, no longer back on their heels. They're moving in full force, is creating a bigger, greater town as they rush about, and you head towards Lion Shield. A familiar shop, now much bigger. You walk in, you hear that familiar ding of the bell as you guys walk in, and you're greeted by a desk.
Hello. Anyone here?
A big, brutish man turns around, and his face lights up. You recognize him from a time you've seen him once before. Hey, brothers, welcome back. You all surviving?
We are. We're in town. As everyone else has probably heard at this point.
Yes. No. Hasn't crossed. Certainly crossed everybody's mouths.
Have you seen the airship out by our keep?
Beaut. Real beaut. We don't see those around here.
We were curious. We have one.
Of course.
Do you ever wanted to work on some of the cannons and ballistas that are on? I mean, they look like standard ones, but we're hoping to reinforce
They're
them.
Cannons.
Yeah.
Same cannons that we put up on the manor.
Exactly. And the ones up on the manor.
Here's the thing. I normally wouldn't tell many people, but you're all friends. We sell cannons the same price, with a little bit of markup because they go in the air. But for you, all the same.
Oh my god.
Good
That is so. My god.
Good to know.
Air cannons and land cannons, same thing.
So one thing some of us have noticed. Let me also be honest with you. I'm more of a quick and fast kind of guy, which doesn't always leave a lot.
That's what she said.
Damn.
It doesn't leave a lot in the bronze situation, which you seem to have plenty of, right?
Aye.
So the cannons that are on our ship right now
they're too tough to shoot.
They're kind of difficult to shoot and aim.
For some of us.
My.
For some of us. So we were hoping we could either modify or get some that are just as strong, but are a little bit easier for those of us.
With the baby mode.
Right.
I'll
Look,
take a look.
I mean, I understand. I'll take my licks, but we did have to fight a dragon in the air, and it was just a bit scary. It was an adult white dragon, and we had to fight it with cannons.
No,
that we
brother,
were
I'm
really
sorry.
struggling.
My bad, brother. I was having fun.
No,
at
it's
your
fine.
expense, but that
and
is frightening.
yeah.
How many cannons?
Guys, you have to help me count. But I think it's 3.
So there's 6
3,
total.
and then there's 2 in the front, right?
I wouldn't replace all of them. There's 4 on each side. No, there's 3 on each side, and then 2 in the front, and then 2 ballistas in the back,
Right.
and then 2 ballistas. There's
is
4 ballistas,
changing-
4 ballistas, and 8 cannons.
There's 2 ballistas in the back. Where's the other 2 ballistas?
Weren't there 2 in the front as well?
There's 2 in
There's
the
2
front.
cannons in the front.
There's 2 ballistas in the front.
Oh, they're both they're ballistas.
There's
up there?
cannons and ballistas in the front.
The front and the back have ballistas, and then the cannons line the sides.
Hold on, I'm pretty sure I took a picture of this somewhere. No, I took a picture of just like the art of the thing, not the actual.
Can you really quickly, Viva, pull it up?
Mm-mm. You can do a history check.
I'll help.
So, am I rolling with advantage or rolling normal?
With advantage because she's helping you. You remember that there are 8 cannons and 2 giant crossbows, the
Okay,
ballistas, I believe
yeah.
you guys are referring to.
Yeah, I thought I was right. So yeah, there's 2 cannons up front, 3 on either side, and there's 2 ballistas in the back. And I explained that to the blacksmith that we're speaking to.
So each one normally about 120 gold pieces to
Mhm.
retrofit. For you, I can do 100.
Did that count on the ballistas too, or is it we're only talking cannons right now, Viva?
Oh, I don't
Just cannons? Cool.
cannons.
Okay, so that'll be 800 total,
800.
and that'll make it easier for those of us. I mean, it'll probably just translate for everybody, but that'll make it easier for us to operate all these cannons.
That's the idea.
Fantastic. How long will this endeavor take? We're gonna leave the ship here for a few days. The crew will be ready
For
to do
those
this.
5 days, we can have that ready.
Fantastic. Out of curiosity, let's say not the white dragon we fought in the air, but let's say we did fight another white dragon.
Oh shit! Really?
It's been a long week.
Wow.
Y'all are
We
fucking
have-
wild.
We have the remains of an adult white dragon, and my brother can kind of go through some of them for you. But is it just thinking of these are the most useful things that we have on hand. But is there in the additional time of like in the week, would either adding the remains of the scales or parts of the white dragon to the ship would any of that be able to be done within the time frame of the last couple days of the week to reinforce the hull of the ship or the any other parts of it to give it some additional reinforcements?
Can I see these parts?
I turn to my brother.
Speak up real quick.
I have a quick question.
Uh-huh.
So if we upgrade these cannons, are they going to be primarily dex based, or can you pick between strength and dex?
I'm gonna say well, because the bows were generally
Those were
dex,
strength.
right?
Those were
Everything
also
was
strength.
Everything was strength, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the goal is initially was to lower the strength check
Yes.
on these. That was the intention.
Okay.
Mhm.
So side question on that then. when we were rolling, when we were using them in the past, they were not this. We were using them as this. It wasn't less of a strength check, but we were using them as an attack. So we were going that check against the AC of whatever it was. So lowering that, it would have to be like a plus. I guess we would be counting as like a plus something to add it to this.
It'd be it'd be like more of a buff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is what you're saying.
Is that everyone? Does that make sense to everybody?
Well, we just talked about
it would turn the
swapping them
cannons.
to Dex.
I don't think we should swap them to Dex.
I mean, personally, like,
we're not trying to fuck you over. We're just trying.
Yeah.
We're not trying to fuck you over.
Yeah.
We're just trying to make it operational for like me and David.
Okay.
So, like,
I understand. I just wanted to make sure because if that's
like a +5 to hit, in addition to like whatever we have, would make it a lot easier to use the cannons.
We would gain our proficiency, like ability to add our proficiency bonus, like we would for a proficient weapon that we have, kind of thing. As is what I would suggest. So you could add your proficiency bonus plus your strength check, like a normal attack roll that you would have.
Yeah, that would make sense.
That's all good. I was just making sure.
So that way you don't have to do a +1 to attack and hit. You would just say we get to add our proficiency bonuses. So like I still have a negative strength, but I have a proficiency bonus that would pseudo offset it, which would just make it better for me. And it would just innately make it better for everyone else who has a positive or neutral strength, which is everyone else.
Yeah, so like for me, like I have a +1, but like even if I rolled a nat 20, I couldn't hit this dragon. And then literally it was up to all three of you to like hit it, but me and David could never hit the dragon because its AC was higher than like a 21, I think. So
it was.
Or maybe it was exactly 21, but regardless, it was so high that like unless we hit something with a low AC, it was impossible for us to roll high enough. So we need a fixed buffer to make the math work out, and that's not to change the damage. It's just completely to change the roll, which effectively changes the difficulty skew. So
okay, yeah, I was just making sure that we weren't like completely swapping things, because then I would have
no
requested that we not swap them all.
Yeah, no, this is gonna just make.
I mean, I would just say like a +5 to it and call it a day. Because eventually our press.
I was gonna make you guys roll a dice for it.
Oh no, whatever.
I mean, I can do Bard's inspiration and then
like to have somebody roll a 1d8 to see what the buff is gonna be.
That's fine.
Okay,
that's perfectly fine too. I was just thinking of like what the buff would be, and it would only be to hit because that offsets the.
Yeah, it would only be to the hit.
That's kind of why I say add your proficiency bonus, because then it would work kind of like every other weapon, and you would gain proficiency, aka we have experience with them, and that buff increases as we level up through the game. So like currently it would be a +4 for us.
We get one more proficiency
for who?
For everybody. Anyone. We are level 9 characters. We have a +4 to proficiency. And essentially what this is saying is we are now proficient with cannon use. We are experienced with it.
That sounds fair enough.
Yeah. You'll only get ever one more buff, like one more proficiency, whatever, 10 or 12.
No, that sounds fair. Without like, because I didn't want to fuck you guys with you guys rolled a shitty roll and be like, well, that was the money spent. No, this sounds fair.
Yeah, no, this is good.
Okay, good call.
All right, so this is cool.
But he says, I don't know,
to derail.
Maybe.
No, it was good. All right, so he wants to see. He wants to see what we have for dragon parts from the last white dragon.
From the last white dragon, we currently have. I
just want to look in it, brother. Don't.
No. I'm reading them out. It's all good. We have the gizzard still, but that is likely in Harry's thing. The heart would have
been used.
We still have.
Oh no,
we actually still have it.
I thought the heart was the same thing.
Can't do nothing with that. Sorry.
Damn it! I wish I had remembered that we had all this. I could have offset some of this at.
I'm a little more interested. My creativity is making me think.
We have scales,
intestines,
scales, skull, femur bone, claws, and horns. So
If you need a specific number of what we have of any of those, let me know. I can give you those, but those are the things that he would be able to use.
I
Use those.
Tell you what.
Huh?
You wouldn't use those.
I'm trying to raise either the AC of the. I'm trying to see if we'll either be able to raise
If
the AC of the.
You
ship
can
or make
provide
the
me
hull
with
stronger.
some of the horns, some of the claws, maybe about a third of your scales. I could probably raise the HP of this ship about 50. But it'll take me 2 days and about 300 gold.
So on top of the 5 days for the cannons, correct? So that put us at a week.
Roughly.
And a day.
Yep.
Which is what we told them.
It would be
probably anyway.
5 days plus 2 days, so it'd be exactly a week,
Right.
which is cool.
Yeah.
I
Which
think I
is
said
cool.
3, but
You said
I think
2.
I said 3. You heard it right, Em. But
Okay.
I
So
did,
8 days?
I did intend to be a week. That was just my bad math.
Yeah, I know. I heard 2 days and 300.
Man, and
gold.
people say I can count.
I think I said it. I think I said 3 days, but
So
I wanted
4
it to
days
be a week.
total is what I heard. Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. So in total, for everyone's edification, a week
Horns.
worth of work on the ship. We are retrofitting the cannons to gain proficiency with them for 800 gold total, and then an additional 300 gold for the extra
HP.
HP on the ship, and then I will
Plus the
deduct the
resources.
items. So, in terms of the items, we have 14 dragon claws from this dragon. Do you need all of them or just part of them? I will give you all of them if you want them.
7.
7 of those. Okay. We have 2 horns. There are only 2 horns available on a dragon. We got both of them.
Oof. I did expect 2 horns.
No, so take the 2 horns. That's fine.
Okay.
The 2 horns, and then a third of the scales, and I will do the math on that, and then subtract that out. You don't really need to worry about that. You already gave me how much you want of that. I am now
Just-
updating all of the party fund stuff with this.
Just to be slightly morbid and slightly cool and whatever else. Is that what's on the front of the Tom Petty?
So here's the
Right-
thing that
right
I had
now,
an idea
it's-
of.
It's
It's an
just,
eagle.
an
According
eagle.
to the according to the picture we have, it looked like an eagle.
Let
eagle
the
figurehead.
DM tell us what's on it.
It's like a bird-like creature, kind of like an eagle.
Okay.
Can we change that out for a minotaur head?
Oh, never mind. That's
I
better.
would like. I had this
That's
idea. I've
better.
been trying to get to a lot of things. I personally would like to, honor the captain and put a figurehead of a minotaur on the front of the ship.
I was gonna use the dragon skull on the front of the ship, but this is better.
Oh, we could do it, but I don't work so much in wood. I could talk to somebody. Throw me 50 gold.
He's got a guy.
I got a guy.
Would he be able to refashion a dragon skull to make it work for that?
Even better.
And it would be a little bit more.
Are we seriously spending on fashion for the ship out of 50
Yes.
gold?
If you ever played CSD,
it would be a
this is
little bit
exactly
more
what you do.
sturdy and whatnot, since it's a dragon skull and not wood.
That's true.
Tell you what. It will be the 50. Leave the dragon skull. He'll get a kick out of it. I promise you.
Dragon skull's worth a lot of money. Like,
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, they're not going to charge you any extra since you're
So
giving
no-
up such a
Not
crazy.
the 50 gold.
No, it is the 50 gold. For the wood carving, you're throwing in the head to be a part of it.
Okay.
My understanding is you want him to carve a minotaur body, dragon skull head, somehow.
No, I was gonna say
No.
refashion the dragon skull into a minotaur looking
I think we're making
skull.
it way too complicated with the dragon skull. I was thinking something
Just do the
completely
minotaur.
different. The dragon skull head does not have to be used for it, unless we need it for something.
My understanding, look here, what I think he can do is carve the wood of that eagle, chop it up, carve it, those 2 horns that you were gonna put in, boom, Minotaur.
Yep.
Boom.
I'm cool
We
with
don't
this.
need your dragon skull. You keep
Okay.
it. You do whatever you want with it.
Would you like to affix the dragon skull to the archway of our keep then?
Fuck yes.
Wow, that is such a swag.
Very metal.
Then would you be willing to
I
do
wanted
this
it
in your
somewhere.
leisure? Sorry,
It's the
heart
biggest head
brain.
we've taken. I wanted it on
No,
display.
trust me.
I don't know. Maybe
we'll
we
talk to
should
Shyvanis.
talk to
She'll-
Talk to
Shyvanis first.
Shyvanis. I'll leave the
No,
dragon
brother,
skull with.
Trust
I'll
me.
leave the dragon skull with you then,
Jeez.
and then
We'll-
50,
we'll
50
take
gold
care
for
of it.
the rest of the figurehead carving for the Minotaur.
Deal, brother.
Yes, that dragon skull goes on our keep.
Guys, remember, we are now still beloved people at Fenelon. We don't want
Yes,
to be
and now a
considered
dragon will
as a
think
fucking
twice about coming
trophy
to fuck with
hunters.
us.
We're
Yes.
not. We're taking care of the dragon problem. They should know it.
Oh my
It's also not like
god.
the dragon didn't come here before this.
I-
And are pissed at us. So
I turn to Astrid and basically just sigh very strongly. And shake my head.
And then
Oh
her
my
metal
God.
ass shadow dog just sits there and looks at you.
It's okay, the
I'll
dog
just
likes
shrug.
me.
All right.
Real
having
quick, I don't want
the
to
lines.
back. Sorry, I don't want
I'm
to back.
sorry.
I don't want to
Did
backplay
I
too
say
much.
to Astrid, I'm sorry I'm sorry you had to deal with
When
these.
was I able to get
like,
those potions, and was I able to
delinquents.
get some bones and a ball?
I've
for
dealt with plenty in my day.
Conjure?
Yeah, I figured you guys dealt with that all well.
Okay, I
We
just
were
need
having fun.
confirmation of that, so I just wanted
Uh-huh.
to. All right, I'm done. Sorry, continue.
DW's boring ass shopping spree.
I
Yep.
like to make sure we have what we need, and otherwise we just have a collection of gold and not spending it. So what the fuck is the point?
All
of
right,
it?
yeah, no, I figured I had read
I'm trying to
ahead
make the
and
money.
checked it, so I figured
I'm not
You guys took
opening a
care of it, so
fucking
yeah.
bank.
We're trying to
Right.
get enough gold so we can swim in it.
No, we're gonna
No,
screw
but
it.
sure.
Yeah.
What's your swim speed in gold?
Trust me, I am attempting to use our gold. I'm attempting to use gold smartly. At one point, I would like to get to a point where I can address the group, but only the group.
As you guys, so you leave across the town square, past the town hall, and you have this long kind of open hill to the keep, all alone.
I'll turn to the group and say, so last night, I returned to that temple where we just fought that group and did some looking around. I wanted to see if that drow monstrosity thing, if it had any information. I'm trying to figure out why these things are coming after us and if it had any orders or additional information on it. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find anything of that nature, but I was able to procure this, and I'll pull out a satchel of the sectioned off amount of gold, silver, and platinum that I found. I found this on him, and it equated to 6,221 gold, 376 silver, and 267 platinum.
How much platinum?
267. None of this has been added to our party funds yet. And I wanted to make sure that I
Wow.
let you guys know what I find when I find it. So if
As you run the number, you just see this dragon head kind of like pop out over Valen's shoulder, and he just yells "nerd," and then
so
I wanted to offer, if we want to add this to the party funds, if we want this to go to the, the upkeep of Phandalin, if we want to split this amongst the party members currently,
Same
I
dragon
didn't
head
want to
pops out. I'll take it.
Backing
You
yourself.
stay you keep sleeping over there, bud.
Let me know what you guys want to do. I didn't want to make this decision myself, but I did want to let you guys know what I found.
I mean, throughout our journeys, I mean, up to this point, for myself personally, I haven't found like a huge sum of like huge outsource of huge outlet for for spending the money. So I think I mean if the party will like, I mean I will pour the money into upkeep of the Fenelon.
Yeah, I think right now we're doing okay. There is
Plus Shyvanas will can always provide us with backup cash. So
well,
Shyvanas
sure.
does not thrive with backup cash.
Well,
It's under our-
Shyvana's kind of, she gets the money, your monthly
She
wages.
sends us the monthly amount
Well,
that
that's
we
what-
get.
I think that's what
everything.
that's what he's meaning. So like, if you gave the money, I think what he's saying is if you gave the money to Shyvanas to help the town, if you needed it, she can provide it.
Yeah. So I would think in our keep, there has to be some kind of like a vault or something like where Shyvanas keeps our excess money, right? Is what we're concluding with the money pockets, right? And then, so if we wanted to excessively fund, so with that is the baseline. Like there is a place in our keep that we're keeping secured, and I assume it's secured. And there's some amount of money that goes in and out there that Shyvanas prioritizes and takes care of from here. If we needed money from it, we can get it through the magic pockets. If we needed to put money into it, we can do that as well. If we need to fund Phandalin, we can kind of fund it from there with additional, with instructions and stuff like that. If we need, we're also taking on, based on how Valen did, we're taking on some additional expenses from, the crew of the skyship. So, I think both are going to need to expand. So I think this money should be, probably just put into that pool so that we know that we're going to upkeep that stuff with it. Whether we explicitly set it aside or not is fine. Not to bore anybody, but if we are going back to Waters Deep, we could have a good opportunity to stop by our best shopkeep so far and actually spend it. So before we write it all off right now, we can just see if we need anything from immediacy, and then go whatever we need to with Waters Deep. Get our information and everything there. I think that will just kind of level set everything. But I think if we keep it all there, we can allot it to the needs of Phandalin, improving the skyship, bringing on additional resources in the form of protection in Phandalin or whatever, both in our keep or the greater Phandalin. Does that make sense to everybody? Is that agreeable to everybody?
yeah.
Astrid? Val?
I think that's fine.
Sure. So,
I mean, I think personally, I would rather it go towards making sure that we can keep the airship than Phandalin, but I also don't have emotional ties to Phandalin.
Sure.
Look, Phandalin.
I'm not saying that.
That's what you said.
And I understand that, but
To be honest, she's been living in the water deep like majority of her life, so
Sure.
it's understandable that.
No, I understand that, but
Yeah.
I
Wait,
These-
hold on. No, that's not true.
That's where we
What?
know.
No,
That's what we know.
She's not from Phandalin. Is the moral of the story.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think we do need, in addition to Phandalin, if we do come across other places that do need that we've allied ourselves with and do need the resources, we should be able to, and we have those resources to share, then we could do that. However, right now, the two other places that, myself, Val, and Valen have kind of come across are Baldur's Gate and Water's Deep, and the greater powers that be there aren't strapped for cash in the way that Phandalin is, or in terms of defenses and stuff. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think as we continue to forge alliances and deepen those bonds, there's other things that we can do that are better than money that we can gain from this, right? So I think right now we are improving the airship, which is a huge benefit for us, right? And
Yeah.
the best that we can do for everyone involved there. So yeah, and then Phandalin obviously is wasn't where I'm from, isn't where Val is from, but has become more of a home than I've had in a long time. And we went into that fight yesterday hoping to take care of it ourselves, and yet Phandalin was coming to have our backs, and that was, whether it was directly us or not, it's still, it means something to me. So
I
I
understand.
think I don't want to get sappy about it, but yeah. I want to protect our homes.
Then let's use the money to protect your home.
Understandable.
Then with that, I will leave that gold with Shyvanis
Mm-hmm.
for her to use as needed, and I'm not adding it to our party funds.
It should be in our greater party funds. It's Shyvanis will pull it out as needed, and we'll just need Viva to let us know. And Viva, we're going to need your help on this. Like expenses outside of stuff, or we're going to have to increase...
For the ship alone.
Yeah,
for the
we're
ship
going to increase
alone,
things.
For the ship alone, your increase of daily spending is
It's in the DMG, I think.
it's 6 gold per day, but you're gonna have to hire a new member, so that'll be 8 gold per day. And then on top of that, it'll be 1 silver piece per mile.
One silver
have-
piece per.
Something?
Oh, okay.
So it's 10 gold. It's 1 gold per every 10 miles.
So we just got to figure out how many miles it travels in a day.
Well, right
and
now it's
go
marked.
from there.
Thank God.
We don't have to consider it right now. I mean, we're taking
Right.
the transport
So
gate.
if anybody
Yeah.
could add that to the notes, those are the maths we got to do.
I will add it to. Do you want me to add it to the top of our party funds, where I have the general funds and gold? 3,000 per month turns into 1,300 per month for Phandalin for the first year. For the keep
Yeah, you're gonna
repairs,
put it under that.
2,800 per month after the first year. 100 gold is taken out per month for keep upkeep, and 50 gold per person living there per month. So do you want me to add a blurb to that saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
8 gold per day.
Dan,
and
David,
1
how do
FP
you do
per
those
mile.
maths? I don't
It's fucking
understand.
amazing.
It's amazing.
Well, I gave him those notes.
I've put in a shit ton of time trying to keep all of this stuff straight for everyone.
Holy God.
And it's accessible by everyone. Just don't fuck up what I've done.
Wait, do
You-
we?
you're all able to see it.
Well, since now we're talking about paying the ship crew, does the ship crews needs to pay union fee?
Jesus Christ, Harry.
It's not a union fee. What are you talking about?
There is a union fee now that you brought it up. No, but there's not a union fee. Jesus, guy.
Hey, I just want to be fair. That's all I'm saying.
It's all already
Signs that you've lived in a red state for too long. You forget that unions exist.
And they don't exist in blue states hardly either.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
Oh, damn!
It's not really.
All right.
It's not.
I've added a note saying 8 gold per day for the crew of Thom Petty and 1 gold per 10 miles of travel.
And then 6 gold with
Okay.
6 gold per day. Wait, what was the 6 gold?
No, good. It was
8.
It's 8.
6. It was originally 6, 2 for every person on the ship, but you guys have to hire somebody new.
So it will
and
be
this-
8.
Yeah, it will be 8.
All right.
Plus possibly more if we order
So-
anything else.
Here's my next question then. Viva, as the DM, since Alex is expecting you to be able to keep track of the extra money that we are currently giving to Shyvanis, would it be easier for me to add an additional tab in our group party funds specifically for that amount of money that you can pick out from, so it is still separate from our current allotment of everything, or do you want me to just add it into our pile of everything?
Look, here's how
Or the
here's how I
town?
see it working.
Yes.
We have a sending zone directly to Shyvanis. If Shyvanis is going to be saying, if Viva deems, hey, there's going to be an expenditure in the background of something, he would message us and just say, hey, Shyvanis sends you a message. There needs to be an expense paid for this, and you guys have to okay it, and then we have to pull that out. Does that make sense?
Maybe. We might just want to do this off stream at a different time.
I know we're spending way too much time over this that
I'm just saying
may or may not occur expense
I
right
have
now. So
I have thoughts and I want to discuss this. I don't want to do it on stream. We're moving
Okay.
on.
yeah.
I'm laughing because
Like I didn't intend for this to
Hold on,
blow
hold
out
on.
into
No,
all this
no,
shit,
no,
but apparently it
this-
has to.
no. Just this. What's funny to me is Fandolin pays you guys,
Yes.
and then you guys are like, but then we'll pay Fandolin.
It's investing in the Fandolin essentially.
Right, I get it.
Yes.
So you guys could either I don't know.
The way it would work out is if we're
You
hiring
could take
more,
a smaller
more
cut.
guards,
You guys could take a smaller cut of what Fandolin has given you, and be
Right.
like, just direct that there. We're already at the point where we're collecting loot. But anyways, let's go.
Let's go. All right,
Alright.
let's talk to Shyvanis and see if the transportation gate is ready. This will
as you guys
be
walk back into the keep, for the first time you see one of your crewmates no longer on the ship. You walk in and there's your captain. Seems as though everything's above board, eh?
Yeah, Lechamp, Captain Lechamp. We just got done talking to the blacksmith, and we have 7 days worth of repairs, upkeep, and installations coming for the cannons. They're also going to do some work to increase the longevity in the hull of Thom Petty. We're gonna use some of our dragon harvested parts for this. and it's all been paid for. So we'll be back in a couple of days, and we should have a heading and a direction to go from there.
Well, I look forward to spending a little time here with your friend. We will be hiring for that crew slots. You understand?
Yeah, we do.
Is there a way that we can maybe communicate with you all while you're gone?
The best way would be to get into contact with Shivanis. She has a way to contact us via Sending Stone.
All right, Siobhan, looks like we'll be spending even more time together. We'll contact you soon enough about some prospects. Godspeed. What are y'all doing just standing here? Gotta get going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Shivanis,
let's-
can you
yeah,
take us back down to
let's
the
go.
circle? I believe the enchanters are still around to help out.
Yeah, Siobhan leads you down into the bowels of Tresidor Manor. Quickly, you did want to run by Siobhan this new design for the keep, right?
Yeah. I'll talk to her on the way down, and then I'll also ask her about the project that's being worked on in Wave Echo, and I'll give her another. I don't know how much I have left for spending on it. I'll DM you how much I do for that, but those are the things I'm planning to do as we walk.
Mhm.
Are you gonna tell us what the changes are to the keep, or what? Is this super secret? Like, what's going on?
No, it's the fucking dragon skull.
Oh, I was confused.
You all
by
were
what
there for that.
I was confused by what you were saying because you were just like, "I'm DMing you this." And I was like, "What are we talking about?" Sorry. Can we ask Shivanis if some of the enchanters are? Can we hire them for being as some of the people to stay on at the keep?
You can ask her right now.
Yeah. So Shivanis, I know the enchanters were brought on by, I believe, the Harpers. Was it?
It was the
council.
Council. If possible, could you see if any of them are freelance, and we could hire them on, the ones that ideally did some good work, you feel comfortable with, see if we can hire them on to do additional work in the future, just stay on as in-house enchanters for additional
No, I
improvements,
can-
and for using the teleportation circle as needed in the future.
It is important you understand that the enchantment circle can only be used by someone capable of. So I will talk to the enchanters and see which of them may be interested in staying on. And I believe their fees may be similar in order, but I'll see what I can do.
We can adjust the wave echo input from our cut to accommodate any new hires.
Okay.
We want to make sure our keep has sufficient security and staffing.
As you guys approach the enchantment circle, there are 3 enchanters standing around it. You see one really tall and lanky. Another which is more like a stout figure, and then there's the third is a smaller build, and the cloak, the back of its cloak kind of like seems to like kind of wave. As you guys step into the circle, they begin chanting. They look at
There's no interaction. Ooh. Sorry, go ahead.
oh, okay, no, I thought you had some.
No.
They look at Val. Do you have in your mind's eye where we need to go?
I'll provide the rune for Water's Deep.
As for security, we'll not look.
Okay.
You walk over to a tablet that's kind of like set apart, like this stone. Jesus, phallus. I don't know. Got stuck in my head. You input the destination. Kind of recalling a little bit of Rainer at this moment. Some of those memories. The enchantment circle starts to kind of glow. Now's the best time to leave. M&A
We'll
step. Okay.
step in.
Yeah,
Step in.
let's step in.
Yep, step in.
We have 6 seconds. You have to step in quick.
Yep. M&A
Let's go.
steps into. There's this bright flash of light. And then darkness. Soundless, empty void. And then like getting squeezed through a tube, you find yourself standing in a cold, damp, dark setting. Takes you some minutes to adjust. As your eyes begin to open in front of you, you see swords, spears, crossbows pointed at you. As the light begins to grow, you recognize some familiar colors and emblems. You find yourselves in Water's Deep, surrounded by the King's Guard.
This is one welcoming.
Would I still have the parchment of the
Yeah.
king with the seal? I'll hold that up to show who we are. Just in case.
One of the guards with his spears to your throats. At ease, gentlemen, at ease. I think they've been expecting you. Everybody puts their weapons down. You understand. We must keep this particular entrance safe at all times.
What's the way that we could show up here in the future expectedly, where we don't have a miscommunication upon arrival?
It's in our best interest to greet all guests that come this way with the same amount of flair.
Mhm.
Understand, it was when it happens again, it's nothing personal. Come on. And
And
he slaps you on the back. They're expecting you in the hall. And he leads you out through the gates. And immediately you guys see immediately you guys are kind of greeted by something. There's seems to be like this sounding alarm going, and there's guards running everywhere. He leads you up the stairs into the courtyard, across like a little bit of a fairway into this like great big courtyard that leads to those giant doors that you're familiar with. They're the same ones that had led you to the Great Hall. In this particular thoroughway is tens of guards. You see them on the balconies above. You see them lining the courtyards. all the way up into the great doors. As you guys approach, the doors open. With the chiming still going in the background. You walk into the hall with its marble floors and its marble pillars that reach like 50, 60 feet up into the air.
Damn.
You're ushered into another room in which you see the grand table. You're back in the great hall in the
Mhm.
presence of the council. And that's where we're in tonight.
Nice.
Dope.
Dope.
All right, we got a couple
We-
weeks break now.
At least
Got an-
1 week, maybe 2. We are not sure what's going to happen in a week after.
Is this going to be like maybe potentially
2 weeks.
like honeymoon stuff or what?
Yeah, so next Saturday, a week from technically today,
Mm-hmm. Marry
we're
time.
getting married. Yeah.
I
Woo,
did
woo,
not.
woo.
And then Sunday we're leaving, and we're going down to a friend's beach house, and we're going to spend the week there. But Friday night we have, or Friday afternoon we have our second shot of the Moderna vaccine to go get, and
Oh.
that is the last day that we are going to be in the beach
Beach
house.
house?
So we should be back Friday night, regardless. It
Yeah,
just
but you
depends
might not
whether or
feel good
not.
Saturday night.
Yeah,
Be
a
feeling
lot
good
of people
Friday
say
night or
that the
Saturday
second
night.
shots will knock you out,
So-
so be careful.
For not this next weekend, we're definitely not playing next weekend, but the weekend after, tentative. We'll let you guys know, but it may be a 2-week
Nice.
hiatus.
We
It
can
may
survive
just be
that.
Okay.
one.
Congrats. How awesome.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you.
We'll post into the Discord here.
And
for a
we're just
link
congrating
to
him.
it.
Oh, okay, never mind. Bye.
Well, he's marrying up.
Oh yeah, he's totally marrying up. We all know that.
100%.
Awesome. Very cool.
Alright, well, thanks everybody who's in stream. We'll end the stream
Thank
here.
you.
Oh man, that was a fun session.